Game 2 of our doubleheader here at Lee Pfund Stadium. We're underway, ready to go. Alex Bagley on the mound for the Thunder. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers joining us here. Your usual play-by-play voice here for the Thunder and Thunder baseball this season. Game 1, Parker going to Wheaton 11-6, and you're here with us right in time for Game 2.
Yeah, right in time for Game 2. Missed Game 1. Had a busy afternoon. Best friend was getting engaged, but hey, happy to be out here. It's a sunny afternoon. Couldn't ask for better weather to play ball.
A beautiful day for baseball. TJ Tolliver leading us off here in Game 2, just like he did in Game 1. Down the count at a ball and 2 strikes against Bagley. It was Jared Cloth going 8 innings in the Game 1 11-6 victory for the Thunder. Bagley, the right-hander, out of the windup. His 1-2 breaking ball is fouled off. As we look defensively here for the Thunder in Game 2, a lot of the same from Game 1, and rightfully so. It's a good defensive unit behind the right-hander, and those 7 runs in the 6th inning carried them to victory. Tolliver on the ground, off the body of Noah Husted, the new first baseman. Bagley covers the bag in time for out number 1.
Now, I wasn't here for the first game. We got a change up at first base.
Yeah, Husted's in at first. Clegg moves from first to third. Those being really the only defensive changes. Noah Yee and Gill remain up the middle. Levin Good and Engel out in left center as well. As Dominic Lee moves up to the 2 spot here in Game 2. Parker, now I've been told it's a lot of food reviews that you've been going through here. We just had some burgers.
Oh, yeah.
In between games. We got some cookies as well that I got to dive into in between innings.
Oh, yeah. When you're broadcasting alone and you're trying to figure some things out,
yeah,
first thing that usually comes to mind is food. I'm a former offensive lineman. Old habits die hard. Last Saturday, parents were grilling burgers in between games, and, man, it sounded good. They were gracious enough to give us some today.
They were fantastic.
Fantastic burgers. Shout out to Mrs. Cloth for the cookies, too. Those were equally amazing. I do love a good cookie.
It's important to get, as do I, my friend. It's important to get fed up in between games of doubleheader, even for the broadcasters, as Bagley now has a 3-1 count here on Dominic Lee, who was out of the 6th spot in game number 1. The 3-1 offering misses off the plate for ball 4. Lee drew on once in the opener, and he's already aboard here with 1 down in the first inning. Jacob Carney, the first baseman, hitting out of the 3-hole. 3 left-handed batters to begin this game for Edgewood. Parker had seen that a lot in Game 1 with 6 left-handed bats in the lineup for the Eagles. They got on the board early, putting up 3 runs in the first 2 innings as Bagley misses low for ball 1 on Carney.
Now, over the course of the past week, Wheaton's done a fantastic job pitching. Thursday night, Engel on the mound for 8 innings, giving up 3 hits and 1 run. The freshman from Wheaton Academy. And then, of course, in Game 1, I think we had the sophomore on the mound.
Is the 1-0 delivery through the hole into right field for a base knock. Carney putting 2 runners aboard with 1 away.
Correction, that was Cloth on the mound for 8 innings in Game 1. So Wheaton stepping it up defensively, especially from the pitching spot. Got some young guys, got a bright future.
They came through as well coming back. They were down 3 runs 2 different times in Game 1, but when you can send 11 to the plate in an inning and put up 7, it's huge. Saw 2 homers as well. Rutledge Feltel, his 5th of the year, and the first collegiate homer for the Game 2 third baseman Will Clegg, as strike 1 is flipped in on the shortstop Kyle Prindle.
Yeah, Rutledge Feltel leading the team in several different categories. I know he leads in batting average. He bats around 380. Like you said, 5 home runs. The hot bat from Jacksonville, Florida.
Another breaking ball in the 0-1. Lasered foul down the first baseline off the bat of Prindle. The shortstop also batting cleanup in Game 1. And those are the names, the Wheaton lineup, Parker, that you look to regularly. Noah Yee as well, the shortstop, batting over 300 on the season, an everyday player for this club, and getting contributions from everyone in Game 1, especially in that inning. As the 0-2 pitch on the outside corner got him looking.
That was a great pitch there by Bagley.
The right-hander collects his first strikeout of the afternoon. It brings up Brevin Brissack, who hit his first home run of the season in Game 1.
Number 5, Brevin Brissack.
Brissack's a tall dude. standing 6'5".
Yeah, big guy. I was going to say tall drink of water. And he had that in game one. Did strike out the first 2 times he faced Cloth, but got the best of him in their third matchup as Bagley starts him off on the outside corner for strike 1. It's the 7th start for Bagley this year. 8th appearance. He's thrown in 28 1/3 innings. He's got 2 outs with 2 aboard here in the top of the first as the 0-1 breaking ball in on the hands, popped up behind first base. Husted back, juggles, and makes the grab to retire the side. 5 sent to the plate for Edgewood in the first. The Thunder to hit for the first time in game 2 when we return here at Lee Pfund Stadium.
No runs for Edgewood in the top of the first. Leading off for the Thunder in game 2, the shortstop number 8, Noah Yee.
Noah Yee leading things off per usual for the Thunder here in game 2 on the mound. For Edgewood, Alec Zarski and Iakom Parker Rogers returning to here at Lee Pfund Stadium. Parker, a scoreless top of the first, worked by Badgley. Had some traffic on the bags, too, with 2 runners on.
Yeah, had a little bit of traffic, got out of a bit of a pinch with a runner in scoring position. That's what you like to see. Cool, calm, and collected. He only walked 1.
It'll be Yee leading things off in center, followed up, I should say at short, followed up by the second baseman, Alex Gill. The center fielder, Braden Engel, will hit third. The count evens at 1-1. Zarski, the right-hander, will deal with a Wheaton order that posted 11 runs in game 1. Rutledge Feltel, per usual, cleaning things up as the designated hitter. The 1-1 to Yee, a breaking ball that misses up and in for ball 2.
You know, it's got to be a testament to the short-term memory of sports, playing a doubleheader, letting up 11 runs. How do you come back and respond after such a devastating game like that?
As mentioned, held multiple leads, and it was a really strong start as well. On the mound for Edgewood, made by their freshman right-hander, Caston Jones, went 4 2/3, allowed just 2 runs. Kept them in the ball game for his time on the hill as the 2-2 to Yee popped up straight up behind home plate. It'll stay in the field of play, and the catch is made for the first out.
It's a good catch there by Richter.
Mentioned a slew of defensive changes, that being one of them. Carson Richter, the new catcher. Outfield remains the same for Edgewood compared to game 1. Dominic Lee in left, TJ Tolliver in center, and Brevin Brissack out in right field. Jack Gill getting moved up in the order, rightfully earned. He hit 5th in game 1, finished with 3 base knocks. He's now here out of the 2 spot, playing second in game 2 as the first offering from Zarski misses for ball 1. Talked about conference play, that walk-off victory for the Thunder on Thursday, much needed win. They'll look to carry it when they play Augustana out in Rock Island on the 16th as the count evens at 1-1 on Gill.
Yeah, that game on Thursday night was a hard-fought game. Looked for a second there like they would go to extra innings, but with a man on, 2 outs, an arid pitch, saw a run in. And that was all she wrote.
It's one of those where, having experienced CCIW play, both as a player and a broadcaster, just seeing how the conference works, it's a tough conference to get through. As the 1-2 to Gill is fouled back.
I think that can be said about all sports over the CCIW.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about Division III, you think about the premier conferences, the CCIW is definitely in conversation. It's up there.
You and I have talked about it as well, you being a former football player here at Wheaton, myself being a North Central grad. I know that's tough to say on these airwaves for all the Wheaton fans, but understanding, how that works in the football side of things.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer's really competitive here in this conference as well. And
think of the likes of North Park, North Central, Wheaton as well, both men and women's soccer.
It's the 2-2 to Gill, slapped foul in the air down the left field line. I know the men's basketball tournament was exciting this year as well. I would say that's the one thing I miss about still being in school, being around the conferences. It's just all the seasons that you go through. But this year, I still kept my eye on it from afar. Good seeing, obviously, the alma mater, but all the other schools competing as well. Good hoops. Really good basketball conference as the 2-2 breaking ball from Zarski is off the plate. Full count drawn by Gill.
And another good year for the Cardinals in football.
Yeah, national champions.
Much as I hate to admit it, was a good year for them.
It's the 3-2 to Gill. Cracked in the air to left field, tailing foul. It'll get out of play. Good fight here from Alex Gill in his first trip to the plate in Game 2.
Yeah, you love seeing the batter in a full count, staying alive, fighting at the plate, making the pitcher pitch to you a little bit.
As mentioned in the top of the first, if you're just joining us, 5 to the plate for Edgewood to not push one across. Zarski set the next 3-2. Got him looking on the inside corner. 2 up, 2 down here for the right-hander in the home half of the first inning.
Yeah, good pitch there by Zarski. Got Gill looking there. Gill not liking the call too much.
Center fielder number 14, Braden Engel.
Obviously, zones changing up. The umpires and our crew switching from Game 1 to Game 2, so that's something the hitters in both arms will need to adjust to. Both staffs, I should say. Neither of these arms working in Game 1 as the first pitch to the center fielder. Engel is there for a strike.
Yeah, you saw that one drop a little bit. That was a good pitch there by Zarski.
And good movement, the right-hander. Looking at his body of work this season. That one off the plate as well. Trying to piece it together. And I mentioned, too, in the first broadcast, it's harder for Edgewood playing a conference doubleheader yesterday against Concordia, Wisconsin, and they found a way to get 8 innings across on the mound in Game 1. They'll look to do the same in Game 2 as the count now is at 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, Edgewood is a good team. 6-3 over their past 9 games. Obviously, that doubleheader yesterday, they took both wins.
And a huge conference action as well. 2-1, slapped in the air left center. It's going to get down for a base hit. Braden Engel, a 2-out base knock. Had 3 hits as well in Game 1, keeping the hot bat rolling.
Yeah, that one just got right in the gap, right where you want it. It wasn't hit up too high, and it was able to fall squarely in the gap, get him over to first base.
The Rutledge Feltel talked about him in Game 1, that 2-run homer in the 6th. Also scored in the 4th when he was hit by a pitch.
It's got to hurt, man.
Ward, and he earned it, though.
He
earned
sure
his way
did.
aboard. And as well, that was another inning much needed. The 2-run single from the catcher, Luke Ham, made it a 1-run game at the time as he takes the first pitch, breaking ball low and away. But Luke Ham not behind the plate in Game 2. It is Ryan Cartwright doing the catching.
Some good variance there for the Thunder. They've got 2 good players behind the plate, able to switch it up just a little bit.
That's always something you run into with these doubleheaders. There are some teams, across the 2 conferences I'm around the most, the CCIW and the NAC, there are some teams that'll be confident rolling out 2 catchers if they believe they have guys of similar skill, but then there are some teams where their top catcher is just that much more above the guys working behind them that they feel like it's a disservice to the team to work anyone else in behind home plate. It's a good luxury to have, though, when you have 2 guys that you believe can equally handle a staff and work in the twin bill, as Rutledge now down the count at 1-2.
Andy, I'm a big proponent of college baseball. Being from Louisiana, I love LSU baseball. A couple years ago, they had Hayden Travinsky and Alex Milazzo behind the plate, able to rotate them in back and forth. Both solid options and hot bats.
And as well, it just helps over the course of a long season as the 1-2 breaking ball lofted in the air out of play down the third base line. Because even though, when you look at youth baseball, they try to not have kids catch as much, keep the knees good. You could say the same thing, as you get older, you're more used to it. Now, man, it's a lot of work behind the plate, especially when you get toward the latter part of the season. The hot weekends, you're in the sun, especially at a place here like Lee Pfund Stadium. You're on the turf. It wears on you after a while. Catching 18 innings is tough. So to have a guy you can put in for a second game, you feel confident you're not losing that much production at the plate while still managing the staff is important. Good fight here from Feltel. It remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
I've got a great family friend who played in the minor leagues as a catcher. He's always complaining nowadays how catchers, sometimes they have one leg up, one leg down. Would love to see him just, both legs in that squat position.
Yeah, I think they had a stat as the runner takes off on the 1-2. Feltel belts this one in the air to left field. That's going to get over the head of Lee and one hop the wall. Engel not stopping around third. Rutledge, Feltel, another extra base hit here in this doubleheader, and the Thunder strike first.
The Florida man strikes for the double there, right over the head of the left fielder Harris there, and that was just a beautiful hit. Feltel continuing his hot streak.
Led the team in average and OPS entering play today. I've already talked countless times about the homer.
The catcher number 9, Ryan Cartwright.
That he was able to belt out. Now 8 doubles on the season for Feltel. It brings Ryan Cartwright to the plate, who did not see action in Game 1. Now he's out of the 5 spot for the Thunder in Game 2.
You love a good 2-out rally here in the bottom of the first.
That's how the Thunder got a handful of their runs in that 7-run 6th inning in Game 1 as Cartwright cuts through the first offering. And Zarski, the man that they've gone to here in Game 2, working in his 5th ball game of the season, this being his first start of 2025. A 1 breaking ball popped up straight back. Count now 0-2 on the Thunder catcher. Zarski has pitched in just 2 innings this year, the senior from Southfield, Massachusetts. Last worked a third of an inning a couple of weeks ago in conference play against Wisconsin Lutheran. Feltel on second, the 0-2. Fastball on the outside corner, got him looking for strike 3. Thunder strike first. They also send 5 to the plate in inning 1. An RBI double from Rutledge. Feltel makes it 1-0. Andy Acco and Parker Rogers back here with you. Wheaton Baseball, top of the 2nd inning, Game 2 of the doubleheader against the Edgewood College Eagles. 1-0 the score. Parker, a 2-out double from Rutledge Feltel in the home half of the first. The Thunder strike first here in Game 2.
They sure do. Hey, it's clear skies, but the Thunder always finds a way to strike. Love the hot bat that Feltel has.
It's the 6, 7, 8 spots for Edgewood here in the second. First offering from Alex Bagley to Daniel Bentavenega. Fouled off, count begins 0-1. He got a pinch hit at bat in the ninth inning to Bentavenega in game one. He went down swinging as he now has the count even at a ball and a strike. So a few more lineup changes. We're going to see those here for the Eagles in the second inning compared to what the Thunder have done prior to game two. As the 1-1 fastball fouled off. Count now 1-2.
And it's not for lack of their bats being hot in game one. Obviously, they were leading two different times during that game. They had hot bats. Obviously, just some variation is good every now and again. Try to even it out just a little bit.
It's the 1-2, fouled off again by Bentavenega. He is the designated hitter.
He about swung out of his helmet on that one.
Here in game two, taking hard cuts as well, like you mentioned, in this two-strike count. The right-hander Bagley set for the next 1-2. Lined over to first, and Husted's able to make the grab for out number one.
Just a great grab by Husted. Good concentration leaning over. Able to grab that one before it hops.
Working hard over at first, as mentioned. It was Clegg in game one over there. He now shifts to third.
Husted's had such a solid week at first base. Coming in Tuesday, Thursday. Now here he is back at first base. Second game of today's doubleheader.
Should say the positions change up as the first pitch to Carson Richter, the new catcher, swatted in the air to left, but Levengood in the gap to his left makes the grab. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, good play by Levengood tracking that one out of left field.
And I should say to switch up my positions that I had in the previous inning, Dominic Lee not in left field. He's the designated hitter. Ryan Harris is the left fielder. He climbs into the right-handed batter's box right now with the third baseman Hayden Hellenbrand in the on-deck circle. The 8-9 spots here in this Edgewood order is the first pitch to Harris on the ground to the left side of the shortstop Yee. It's off his glove and into center field.
Yeah, that one just taking a favorable hop for the Eagles.
Runner on with 2 down. Brings up Hellenbrand, who is the 2-hole hitter for Edgewood in game one. So the 6, 7, 8 spots, new faces to the doubleheader. Hellenbrand, though, hitting ninth and playing third. He had a 2-hit game in game one. He didn't swing the bat bad at all. He doubled and scored, singled and scored as well. It's again, though, as you mentioned, Parker, just trying to change up the looks in game two. It's understandable as the first pitch from Bagley is there for a strike.
Good pitch by Bagley.
Getting ahead of hitters, and that's been his thing here, following up the strong start from Jared Cloth, who went 8 innings in game one if you're just joining us. 0-2, similar spot on the ground. He's got it this time, and he'll take it to the bag to retire the side. All 9 hitters have come to the plate in the first 2 innings for Edgewood. 2 scoreless from Alex Bagley as we head to the home half in Carroll Stream. After the best game in his collegiate career in game one, Will Clegg will lead it off for the Thunder in the bottom of the second inning. in Game 2 of this doubleheader at Lee Pfund Stadium. First pitch to him is there for a called strike. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers joining you back. Parker, 2 scoreless for Alex Bagley on the mound for Wheaton, keeping those Eagle bats at bay so far.
Yeah, you love to see that out of the sophomore, the Wheaton Academy product. I've been saying that Wheaton Academy to Wheaton pipeline is something good.
This one drops in fair for Clegg down the right field line. In front of Brissack, so Will Clegg keeps swinging a hot bat here in this doubleheader. That's his second double of the day.
I'm not sure Brissack was expecting it to drop as fast as it did. Saw him slow down just a little bit.
I think there's a chance he thought it was a foul ball as well.
Yeah, it looked like it was pushing foul just a little bit, but Clegg able to get the most of that one as he leads off with a double.
That's huge, as Noah Husted will climb in. As mentioned, did not see him in Game 1, playing first base in Game 2. Husted on the season, making his 3rd start here this evening. 10th game played in, as prior to the first pitch he sees a move over to first from Zarski to check in on Clegg. Bottom third of this Thunder order for the first time around, and Parker once again runners in scoring position early and often for the Thunder here in this second game.
Oh yeah, that's exactly where you want to be. As my grandfather would say when we're watching baseball, a good hit scores a run here. And that's what you want if you're Wheaton.
Clegg as well, a good lead off second. First pitch to Husted. A cut and a miss. The count will begin at 0-1. It's David Levengood on deck. The left fielder out of the 8th spot here in Game 2. And then Demetrovich will follow him. Zarski looks back. Another breaking ball in the 0-1 that Husted can't connect with. Now 0-2.
Yeah, Zarski's doing a real good job with Husted here. Obviously getting ahead of himself in the count. That's what he wants.
For this being a non-conference doubleheader, you look at the Wheaton side. Cloth in Game 1, Bagley in Game 2. 2 of their 3 qualified arms.
Yep.
From a statistical standpoint this year. It's the 0-2, line to third. Hellenbrand down to his knees to make the grab. The throw to second, not in time. Clegg back in safely.
Yeah, solid hit there by Clegg, but Hellenbrand just on it. Tracking that ball. Able to come down with the out.
That being the first of the inning. And it brings up David Levengood. Was 1 for 5 in Game 1. Had that RBI single in the 7th. And 3 flyouts as well. So is seeing the ball well. And giving himself a chance. But let's talk about the pitcher. Seeing 2 of these guys in this doubleheader. It's non-conference. Some people will say, oh, non-conference, maybe you work your underclassmen in a bit more, as the first offering to Levengood fouled away down the first base line. I was never a firm believer in that. I feel like, if you got, and you look at their next conference game, them being the Thunder, it's on the 16th, that being Wednesday, I believe, if my brain serves correct, and it does.
Yep.
It's just one game. You can figure out around it, but I think it's important to keep guys on a schedule, keep guys routine and good to go, because they do have a conference doubleheader next weekend against Illinois Wesleyan.
Yeah.
These 2 can then go then, and they don't feel like they're out of sync, so to speak. That's kind of how I've always approached things, because you don't see these mid-season non-conference doubleheaders as frequently. Most of the time, these are at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, if it's at the beginning of the year, I think you would be able to work a couple more underclassmen in the rotation, have them get a feel of what collegiate ball is really like. But now, so late in the season, we've got a bit of a routine going, but that's not for not playing freshmen. I mean, we had a freshman on the mound on Thursday. I believe it was Nate Burden on the mound this past Thursday. He went for 8 innings.
Yeah, the Wheaton Academy product, 8 innings. Gave up a run. It wasn't earned. I would expect him to throw on Wednesday against Augustana. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. Throw down to third is not in time. Almost to strike him out, throw him out. Clegg swipes a base instead, and there's now 2 down. But like I said, I think it's different when you look at it from an Edgewood perspective. They had their conference doubleheader yesterday. So it's more or less they threw their guys already. They're just trying to piece together 18 innings here of quality non-conference play on the Hill this afternoon and evening, as the 9 spot now up in the Thunder order with Sean Demetrovich.
Of course, you're talking about, if my math serves me correctly, that's what, 36 innings in 24 hours?
Yeah.
Trying to field enough pitchers to cover that spread can prove to be a little bit difficult, and obviously yesterday is more important, towards their conference tournament, towards them getting a spot in the NCAA playoffs.
It's the 1-0 to Demetrovich is fouled back.
But just like you said, trying to piece together a bit of a jigsaw puzzle here.
And they've done a good job. I'll tip my cap. They did. They started Cashton Jones in game 1, as mentioned, the freshman, 4 2/3, 2 runs allowed. It just was that one big inning from the Thunder that really sunk their ship as the 1-1 line to first, and diving to make the grab is Kearney to retire this side. Thunder leave a man on third. We're through 2 in game 2. 1-0 Wheaton is our score. Cruising right along here in game 2. It's the top of the Edgewood order due up in the third. 1-0 Thunder. They get the lead as opposed to Edgewood striking first in game 1. Thunder came out victorious 11-6 if you're just joining us, as the first pitch from Alex Bagley to TJ Tolliver, cut on and missed for strike 1. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers joining you back here on the broadcast. Thanking you as always for tuning into another presentation of Wheaton College Athletics. And Parker, Wheaton leaving a runner out on third in the past inning, still holding the lead for Badgley, who has thrown really well so far.
Yeah, they're leaving a runner off. They had him in scoring position with no outs, advanced him to third, getting that second out, but just leaving him there on the corner. Not really what you want to see, but props to Zarski for getting Edgewood out of a pinch there.
Bagley on the mound, I should say. 2-1 to Tolliver, fouled off. Last time up for Tolliver to begin the ball game, grounded out over to first base. Noah Husted making the play, and it was Bagley covering over at first to get that first out. The right-hander out of the windup. Rocks and fires with the 2-2. Hit well in the air and deep to right field. Demetrovich out in front of the track at the wall, but crashing over is the center fielder to make the grab. That is Engel for out number 1.
Yeah, good catch there by Engel, tracking the ball. It's bright out here, clear skies, sun, shining just a little bit. But he makes the catch at the wall for a great out number 1. Terry Tolliver does lead the Eagles in runs scored and slugging. Also in home runs with 2. So he's a strong hitter.
It's a good guy to have at the top of the order, as well as the DH Dominic Lee. Swings at the first pitch, bounces it on the ground to first, and once again, Husted hits Bagley in stride for out number 2.
Quick 2 up, 2 down here so far in the third.
Bagley's last time out faced the rival over in Naperville, North Central, a week ago on the 5th. 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned, walked 3 and struck out half a dozen. He has struck out 6 in 2 different starts this season. It's the first baseman, Jacob Kearney, can't connect on the first offering. Count begins 0-1.
Yeah, you look at those runs earned from Bagley last weekend, but you also look at the strikeouts. You look at how he was able to compose himself and advance the game along. Obviously not the result you wanted, but it's a testament to how he has been pitching so far this year.
Count now 0-2 on Kearney. We continue to mention it's tough in this conference. He's had 2 conference starts, working against Carthage back on the 28th, 2 outings in conference play, I should say. Getting 9 innings of work there, and this will be huge for him to boast that confidence, get it rolling for when they play Wesleyan next weekend, as the 0-2 is fouled on the ground down the first base line. About that midway point of conference action like we've been talking about. It's really when you start to figure out which teams are good in which areas. which parts of their games thrive. Who's got the better pitching staffs, who swings well, who hits well with runners in scoring position as the 0-2 breaking ball is swung on and missed for strike 3. We'll pick up this conversation in the home half of the third. Score remains 1-0 Thunder.
The shortstop, number 8, Noah Yee.
Top of the order here for the Thunder. Already bottom 3. Noah Yee, Alex Gill, Braden Engel to lead things off. And it's Alex Zarski back on the hill, the starter here in Game 2 for Edgewood. As the first pitch to Yee is lined foul. Down the third base line. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back with you. Parker, we were talking about this being kind of the turning point of conference play, learning which aspects of which teams thrive more than others, who can hit well, who can pitch well, who can hit well with runners in scoring position. I think the Thunder can learn a lot about themselves here. As a nice bunt from Yee in front of the plate. It is fielded and thrown to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, good job there by Richter, just being aware, grabbing it, and tossing it over to the first baseman, Carney. But like you said, Andy, it's about that time of the season. You start figuring things out. You start getting in a good groove. You get a good rotation like we talked about, especially with pitchers. And you start deducing, like, okay, here's how we're going to run the lineup for this game against this opponent. Here's who's going to pinch hit if we're in this situation.
The first pitch, Alex Gill has got his first hit of the game after a 3-hit Game 1, sending that right back up the middle.
Yeah, Jay Gilly there getting a great hit in the gap.
Like we were talking about, I think you even bring up a better point. Not only do other teams figure out which teams thrive in certain spots, it's the teams themselves. All right, this is the rotation we want to go with. You kind of get a feel for, you have an idea going into the season pitching-wise, who you want throwing on the weekends, who your first, second, third guy is going to be out of the bullpen. But sometimes things change. In situations, things change. You get to work things out as the first delivery to Engel misses down low. Things change, and you learn that on the fly, but that's what equips you for what we're now calling it's crunch time. Second half of conference action coming up following this weekend, getting into the tournament. And you talk about the lineup as well. You learn which guys you can stick in which spots in the order. You know, who works well where and who you should be playing more regularly. I always say non-conference play at the beginning of the season should be the time that coaches experiment the most.
Yeah.
Every different non-conference game, the first 5-10 games of the year, there should be, whether it's, even if you keep the same guys, if it's a different defensive alignment, if it's a different, 1 through 9 specifically, you learn where guys need to be.
Yeah, you learn where they need to be. You learn, how good they are at fielding where, right? You learn, all right, if you need to bat clean up here, if your top 3 are great at getting on base, who those guys are, and then you bring in the cleanup to bring them off of base.
Engel sends the 2-0 delivery into center, sending Tolliver just back to make the catch for the second out of the inning. And I think you also just learn a lot about yourself as a squad, how you can fight through adversity like the Thunder did in Game 1, coming down by 3 runs a couple of different times, that big frame, as Rutledge Feltel has the lone run driven in this contest, that being an RBI double back in the first.
Yeah, don't count Feltel out here. He's hit a couple of triples over the past week, has all the power to drive in a run here.
It's the first pitch breaking ball, big cut and a miss. And I told you before the game, being from around here, I've come to Lee Pfund Stadium for quite a while as a player growing up, and that right center gap in the right field corner as well. The gaps are big here.
Oh, yeah, looking for that sweet spot.
A 1, line right back up the middle. And he'll get down a 1-hop in front of Tolliver. 2 hits in the ball game for Feltel, and it keeps the inning moving for Ryan Cartwright.
Yeah, Feltel continuing his hot streak as he's been all year. Obviously, he leads the team in batting average, batting just over 380. It's not an easy thing to do, especially as you move up in college.
Yeah, and to stay consistent as well. Consistency is key. Along with my favorite saying in sports, in terms of when looking at the quality of a player, I don't know how you feel, the best ability is availability.
I agree with that.
Health is wealth, as I always like to say. The first pitch in the righty-on-righty battle to Cartwright misses low.
Yeah, I can get behind those. I can definitely get behind those.
I botched the delivery, but you got my gist.
I get what you're saying.
You got my gist. 1-0 count, Gill out on second, Feltel on first. It's a 1-0 Thunder lead. Here in the bottom of the third inning, Cartwright takes a fastball in there for strike 1. A lot more of the student body, Parker, here for game 2.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful weekend. Last weekend, it was dreary. It was overcast. It was windy and cold. Didn't see a ton of the student body. Saw a little bit. But obviously, as the weekend progresses, there was the Wheaton Invitational, the track meet.
Okay.
Over at Wheaton today. I believe it's, winding down, getting into the ending events over there, so more of them able to come out and support the baseball team.
I was going to say, as part of the student body, you have way more of an in than I do. You would know the ins and outs much more than me, as the 2-1 breaking ball to Cartwright bounced foul down the third base line. As mentioned, we got the food truck right behind us as well. I'm sure that is a factor in the students and other fans coming out here.
I think they, for those of you who have been listening over the past week, I think they brought the food truck out just for me specifically. I've been going on and on about different food.
That's the first thing the guys in the box there told me about you. It's the food reviews. They're like, be ready for the food reviews. I said, okay, I will be.
For those of you,
I came prepared.
For those of you who were listening on Thursday, I did not end up getting Wendy's chili. Just want to put that out there.
It's the 2-2 squared up on the ground to third. It's taken to the bag by Hellenbrand to retire this side. We're a third of the way home here in Game 2. Score remains 1-0 Thunder in Carroll Stream.
Kyle Prindle.
4-5-6 due up here for Edgewood. Already top of the fourth in Game 2 of our twin bill. Kyle Prindle showing bunt on Alex Bagley, but pulls it back as the count begins 1-0. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers here with you at Lee Pfund Stadium. Thanking you, as always, for tuning into this presentation of Thunder Baseball and Wheaton College Athletics. The count evens up at 1-1 on the Eagles shortstop.
Yeah, Prindle really trying to pop one here, just squaring up to bunt both pitches.
You look at him in game one, he had a sac bunt as well, fouling off the 1-1 delivery.
I feel like bunting's one of those lost arts.
It is. You don't see it as much anymore.
No, the ability to get a really good bunt down, field it maybe right down third base line.
At all levels, the game of small ball is definitely distanced itself compared to years past, as the 1-2 rolled over on the ground to second. Gill gobbles it up and throws to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, good at-bat there from Prindle. I like his consistency there. I like his ability to square up to bunt and then, change pace and try to swing for it. Made some good contact, push foul.
And I say, if we've been talking about food, gobbles it up. That was not intentional, I promise. That is just how Alex Gill out there fielding that second as the first pitch to Brevin Brissack. The big right fielder is cut on and missed for strike 1.
Right fielder number 5, Brevin.
Last time up, popped out to Noah Husted over at first base to retire this side in inning number 1 as the 0-1 offering. This is low and away to even the count at a ball and a strike. It's April 12th, and I think this is the first day being outside, Parker. I could say it feels like spring here in the Chicagoland area as the 1-1 served up in the air to center. Engel comes in to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down.
Oh, you are most definitely right, Andy. This is the first time I've been outside and can say, man, I'm enjoying being outside. It's been windy, it's been cold, it's been dreary. The wind has been ridiculous the past week. But, man, it does feel like spring, and it's such a beautiful feeling.
Yeah. And you were telling me before we got on the air, you talked about being from Louisiana and Texas as well. You've been here for 4 years now, Wheaton, so you've somewhat gotten used to these winters. But even I say, as a resident here, being from here my whole life, I just feel like they get progressively worse and worse. So I feel bad for you then in that regard, as the 1-0 pitch to Bentavenega through the hole into left field for a 2-out base hit.
Yeah, that was a good little hopper there, right in between third base and shortstop. Yee unable to field it there. Obviously, he went down sliding to try to get it. Diving, I should say. That'll be a good single there with 2 outs. See if they can get a little something going.
Just the second hit of the game for Edgewood. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Eagles. A run on 5 hits and an error for Wheaton if you're just joining us. Rutledge Feltel, the designated hitter, an RBI double. That came with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Cut and a miss from the catcher, Carson Richter, chasing after that breaking ball in the dirt to begin this battle.
Yeah, that one was low and away, and he just tried to reach for it, unable to come up.
Another breaking ball. Bagley going to the well, fouled away, now 0-2. Richter flew out to Levin Good in left field back in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Did not play in game 1. The catcher was Carter Kelly to open up this doubleheader for the Eagles. As a third straight off-speed delivery from Bagley is tapped foul.
Richter's staying alive here, trying to compose himself, trying to find a pitch that he really likes. As we mentioned, those gaps over in right field are very enticing.
Looking to put one the other way. Solid speed with Bentavenega over at first. As the 0-2 misses high. Ball in 2 strikes, bottom third of this Edgewood order. The left fielder Ryan Harris on deck. And following him up, the third baseman Hayden Hellenbrand. Right-hander set. The 1-2. Slow chopper to third. Is gloved by Clegg. His throw to first is in time. Able to make the throw across the diamond. And that'll end this top of the 4th. 4 to the plate for Edgewood. They can't push anything across. 4 scoreless for Alex Badgley as we head to the home half. Score remains 1-0.
First up for the Thunder at the bottom of the fourth inning. Third baseman number 31.
Bottom 4, 6, 7, 8 due up for the Thunder. Second time this trio leading off an inning in Game 2 of our doubleheader. It's Will Clegg into the right-handed batter's box, fouling off the first pitch from the right-hander Alex Zarski. Alongside Parker Rogers, I'm Andy Yockum, welcoming you back here to Lee Pfund Stadium. And Parker, we're saying in between innings, we get the two-man broadcast for Game 2, and we're cruising right along already the home half of the fourth.
Yeah, we're halfway through this game, and it's only been about 40 or so minutes. But that's just a testament to some good ball being played.
Yeah, both pitchers throwing well. A couple of right-handers getting in some non-conference action on this Saturday night. Clegg hits the 0-1 in the air to center. It'll be Tolliver coming in to make the catch for out number 1.
Yep, Clegg making some good contact there. Just hits it off a little bit at the bottom of the barrel. Not able to get completely underneath it.
We got the, as mentioned, student body just to our left and behind us. Thinking that was a good piece off the bat of Clegg, and understandably so. He's been seeing the ball really well today. As the first baseman Noah Husted climbs in. First pitch fastball from Zarski misses away for ball 1.
Andy and I were talking in between innings. We were finally getting winds blowing out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
They've been blowing north, northeast all week long. Definitely been a factor in the limit of big hits by any team playing in Lee Pfund Field.
We saw that from Game 1. Had 3 homers between the two teams. And you look at the American flag in left center. It is howling out right now. Unless my eyes are deceiving me, but I do believe that's the case, as Husted's now ahead 3 balls and no strikes against Zarski.
No, I can back you up on that one. It is howling out right now.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Edgewood if you're just tuning in. A run on 5 hits and an error for Wheaton. There were 7 errors between the two teams made in Game 1 as Husted takes high for ball 4.
Yeah, that one just high and inside. Husted with a good eye looking at that one. A leadoff, not a leadoff walk, but a walk there for Husted.
First man aboard in the inning. It comes with 1 out for David Levengood.
So not the cleanest game from either team in the first game of this doubleheader.
Fielder number 15, David Levengood.
Both bats from each side were they're swinging them well. As mentioned, it was an early lead for the Eagles if you're just joining us. First pitch swinging, Levengood in the air and struck well deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And they're going to say it's a fair ball. David Levengood leaves the yard, a 2-run shot, and it's 3-0 Wheaton. That was a really late call, Parker, and both umpires now in the crew talking it over on the left side of the infield. I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell either, but you can pucker up and kiss that one goodbye. That one, Levengood got all of that one.
He barreled it for sure. We'll see what they're talking about and it's been overturned. It's a foul ball.
Wow. Not at all what you want.
Now, the Edgewood fans to the right of us down the first base side erupt in cheers. Yeah, unfortunately, between our angle and just losing the ball off the bat, we knew it was struck well. It cleared the wall. We knew it cleared the wall. We just couldn't tell if it was fair or foul. And Husted will be heading back to first. Levengood climbing into the box. Just a long strike there for Zarski.
Yep. Ump was late getting the home run call there. Wondering just a bit what he was looking at, how he was looking at it. Obviously had to have a little meeting with the other umpire.
Levengood can't believe it as well. He is beside himself getting back into the right-handed batter's box, rightfully so. Anytime you get a home run taken away from you, it's not a fun feeling.
Oh, not a good feeling at all. But let's see if he can keep up that momentum. Don't let it be too much of a momentum shift.
The 0-1 misses upstairs to even the count at a ball and a strike. Levengood went down swinging against Zarski back in the second. He's 0 for 1 in this game.
You got to think Levengood wants to get another piece of one of these pitches from Zarski.
And if you're Zarski on the mound, that might be the best pitch you throw him in the entire battle here, as a 1-1 breaking ball is chased after for strike 2. Husted on first, drawing a 4-pitch walk. Sean Demetrovich, the left-handed hitting right fielder in the 9 spot, awaiting on deck for the Thunder. It's the 1-2. On the ground, right to short. Flip to second for 1. The throw to first is not in time. So Levengood aboard on the 6-4 fielder's choice, 2 away here in the 4th.
Yeah, Bentavenega unable to turn double there, but gets the force out at second. Dimitrovich now up.
The turn from Prindle to Bentavenega to Carney.
Batting for Wheaton, right fielder number 28, Sean Dimitrovich.
Sean Dimitrovich getting a shot here. He's 0 for 1. Hard hit liner to first. That was caught by Carney to end the 2nd inning, his first time up. Was aboard a couple of times in game 1 as he takes ball 1 low and inside.
Dimitrovich has a good eye. He's been hitting well over the course of the past week. Believe he had a couple base hits, a double and a triple.
He's just getting into the lineup as well, seeing his first action within the last couple weeks of the season. The 1-0 delivery in the air to center. Tolliver back into his right is there to make the catch and retire this side. Thunder get a home run taken off the board on a foul ball off the bat of David Levingood. Score remains 1-0 through 4 innings in Carroll Stream. Sweet Home Alabama bringing us here to the top of the 5th inning. 8-9-1 due up for Edgewood against Alex Badgley.
You know, I'm not really partial to Sweet Home Alabama.
I was going to say, I'm bringing that up with you being a Louisiana guy.
Yeah, I'm more partial to Louisiana Saturday Night, Colin Baton Rouge. Those are my anthems.
So the 0-1 from Bagley is called a strike on Ryan Harris. Reached on an error back in the 2nd. Andy Ockham alongside Parker Rogers joining you back here on the broadcast. Game 2 of this doubleheader today from Lee Pfund Stadium as the 0-1 offering, or 2 offering I should say, misses off the plate for ball 1. Got good music here in between innings. I've mentioned already a couple times the broadcast. Student body out here, a food truck behind us. Great vibes here in Carroll Stream as Bagley gets Harris swinging for the first out.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to start off the top of the 5th here. I mean, getting him down, swinging. You get ahead of yourself, 0-2. Try to get him on that breaking ball, go down 1-2, and just swing away at that one.
Third strikeout for Bagley brings up the third baseman, Hayden Hellenbrand. First pitch swinging on a fastball in the air to left field. Levingood will have to play it off the fence. Hellenbrand trots into second. It's a 1-out double.
Good hit there by Hellenbrand. Not enough to get it over the wall. Didn't clear, but man, he bounced it right off the top of the wall. Gets the double.
His third hit of the doubleheader. He doubled as well in game 1. It was his first at-bat of the day. Scored later on in that trip around the bases. See if he does the same here, representing the tying run with TJ Tolliver climbing into the left-handed batter's box. It is the top of the order as well for Edgewood, their third time around here in game 2. Bagley set. The first offering misses outside to Tolliver for ball 1. Just like that, already the pressure's on Bagley in this Thunder defense, Parker, having a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Need to see the composure here from Bagley, see how he operates in a bit of a pinch.
1-0 breaking ball hit high in the air, deep right. If it's fair, it is gone, and it is a fair ball for TJ Tolliver.
Nice.
2-run blast to make it 2-1 Eagles.
Tolliver got all of that one. That one was just about as close to a no-doubter as you can get, right down into right field.
And you mentioned it, Tolliver leading the team in home runs entering play today. Adds on to his total here in Game 2. Eagles ahead for the first time in this contest.
Yeah, that'll put him squarely in first place with home runs. He was tied with Prindle at 2. That'll make 3 for Tolliver so far this season. He hit that, a little bit to the long side of the park, too.
And it's another one of those awkward angles for us. If you're just joining us, we had it the bottom half of the previous inning for Wheaton with David Levengood, the left fielder, hitting one down the left field line. It was originally called a home run. It would have been a 2-run shot, but it was later overturned and called foul. He ended up bouncing into a 6-4 fielder's choice as Dominic Lee sends the 0-2 on the ground to second, and Alex Gill unable to come up with it, and the throw gets under Husted's glove at first.
Yeah, Gill unable to corral that one properly.
So right now for the Thunder, dealing with that overturned call in the previous half inning, and now here the homer and an error that allows Lee to reach in the top of the 5th for now Jacob Carney, the 3-hole hitter.
You're down 1 run now, but I don't think you have to worry too much if you're the Thunder. Obviously battling from down low twice in the first game of this doubleheader.
Carney 1 for 2. Bagley got him swinging back in the 3rd his last time up, going after the first pitch. And he shoots it into left center for a base knock, making it a 2-hit game for Jacob Carney.
Now another runner in scoring position.
Keeps moving the line along for Kyle Prindle. As the catcher Ryan Cartwright heading out to talk to Bagley before he faces the shortstop on the Edgewood side. It's important here, Parker on the mound, to just give him a minute, right? As a former pitcher myself, I always liked it when, whether it was my shortstop or my catcher would come out, give me a minute, right? Hey, even if it's, you don't have to say anything to me. Yep. You just give me a minute off the mound, get me back into my swing of things.
Clear the head a little bit, huh?
It also helps momentum on their side a bit as well. You feel like you get more control back, and hopefully that's what Cartwright was able to do for Bagley there. First pitch swinging, and Prindle gets it through the hole into left field. Every runner will move up 90 feet, and the bases are now loaded for Edgewood here in the 5th with 1 out.
Yeah, bases loaded, 1 out. This is exactly the spot you want to be in if you're Edgewood. You've got all the momentum right now. I mean, you blasted a 2-run homer. Now right after you have 3 on base.
And one of the more potent power bats in their order climbing in here in Brevin Brissack.
Brissack, the 6'5" monster.
Homered in Game 1. If you're just joining us, that was his first long ball of the season after he left the yard twice a season ago. Corners in, middle's back for the Thunder with 1 out as the first pitch to Brissack misses high for ball 1.
For Bagley here, you want to make sure you at least get this batter out. You don't want to walk in a run. That's probably the worst position you can be in, especially being down, behind yourself. 1 out.
And prior to the next delivery to Brissack, a mound meeting to be had amongst the Wheaton infield. 2-1's the score if you're just joining us, as Parker just brought up the 2-run homer from TJ Tolliver, his 3rd of the season, being a blast to right field to give the Eagles a 2-1 lead.
Not sure how much action they have in the bullpen right now for the Thunder. Having a coach go into the bullpen, check things out.
And only having used 2 arms back in Game 1. Jarrett Cloth going 8, Jack Lindsay coming on to get the final 3 outs in the 9th. Different story for Edgewood. They worked with 4 different arms. And Cashton Jones, the starter. Nate Backsky, the left-hander, came in and worked an inning. And then George Goriotis got the final out in that long 6th frame before Jake Lupto threw the final 2 innings for the visitors. Mound meeting adjourned. And Bagley back on the rubber, ready to fire the 1-0 home. Goes with a breaking ball that misses up and away for ball 2.
So Bagley battling behind himself a little bit right now.
If you're in the spot of Brissack, you're looking for 1 pitch and 1 pitch only, that being a fastball anywhere near the middle of the zone, but Bagley triples up and goes with another off speed.
Yeah, that one's no to do there. Obviously, Brissac swinging for the fences on that one. Unable to come up with any sort of contact there.
2-1 the count now. First base side of the rubber for Bagley. This one fouled straight back. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think Bagley's feeling a little bit more confident now, even in the count out.
We'll see if he goes back to that spinner. Tries to put it low and away. Corners remain in on the Wheaton infield. Middles are back in double play depth for the 2-2. On the outside corner, got him looking.
Yeah, Brissac not happy with that one, taking a step back to stare at the ump there.
Huge second out, and it brings up the second baseman, Daniel Bentavenega.
You know, and that's exactly what we were asking out of Bagley there. You know, you got the bases loaded. You gave up a 2-run bomb, but he composed himself. That mid batter meeting at the mound obviously composed him a little bit.
First offering, an off-speed pitch from Bagley for a strike. This is the 8th hitter of the inning for Edgewood. Currently got the bags loaded. Wheaton looking to get out of this frame trailing just 2-1. Bagley looks in. Comes set for the 0-1. This is out in the left-handed batter's box. Even the count at a ball and a strike. It's the catcher Carson Richter on deck for the Eagles. The first 4 spots in the Edgewood order in this game, all left-handed bats. 5 through 9, all from the right side. Definitely interesting way the lineup's been put together for the Eagles in Game 2.
Yeah, not throwing a lot of variance in. No left, right, left, right, 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 left.
Yeah, split it up a bit more in Game 1. Going left, right, left, left, right, left, 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 and right.
Is that a Nintendo cheat code?
It could be. Let's say, try saying that 10 times fast. As the 2-1 offering in the air down the right field line, that'll get out of play. Count now 2-2 on number 22, Daniel Bentavenega.
Dimitrovich trying to chase that one down. It was pulled foul. I know he wanted to try to make a play on it, get him out of this inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The base is full of Eagles. Here in the top of the 5th. The next offering from Bagley. Lined just foul down the first base line. A huge sigh of relief there for the Thunder.
You could feel the tension and then the sigh of relief.
Yeah. And a good inning as well. Obviously, you're getting the lead, but 4 hits in the frame for Edgewood. They've gotten to the right-hander in his 5th inning of work. Bagley shakes off 2 different signs from Cartwright and comes set. The 2-2 misses up and away. Full count now with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Andy, you're a former pitcher. What do you do here?
Got to get something in the zone. I know it sounds super obvious, and well, thank you, Captain Obvious, for that statement. But at the same time, you don't want to give him a free pass. Worst thing to do is walk a run in. I'd rather have a guy put one in the gap off me, as the 3-2 is lined up the middle for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. It is now 4-1 Edgewood.
Hey, just like you said, he put one in the gap, drove 2 in. So now they've got runners on the corners with 2 outs.
It is Lee and Carney in to score. You mentioned Prindle moving from 1st to 3rd. That brings up the catcher Carson Richter, the 9th batter of the inning for Edgewood.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better hit there off of Bentavenega.
Well, then you go back to my comment that I made 2 seconds prior of, if you walk one, only 1 run scored as you gave up a hit there and 2 come in to score. There's just something about not wanting to walk a run in. You want to give yourself a chance, and that's what throwing a strike in that spot does, and if they beat you, you tip your cap. It's the first offering to the Edgewood catcher, misses low. Good work there behind home plate by Ryan Cartwright.
Yeah, Cartwright, he's got good reflexes. He's quick on his feet. If the pitch gets away from him just a little bit, he's able to corral it in due time.
1-0, fastball lined into left field for a base hit. And it gets by the left fielder, Levingood. Bentavanega ditches the helmet midway between second and third. And Richter is in, head first safely to third base. It is a 6-run top of the 5th inning for the Eagles.
Yeah, Levingood just unable to corral that one, and then he lost it a little bit there at the wall on the warning track. So the base clearing triple drives in 2 more runs for the Eagles off of a very strong 5th inning.
Talk about the doubleheader. We can now call this a doubleheader of big innings. Wheaton had their big half inning in game 1. The Eagles now with their big half inning in game 2. It's back to the top of the card from this innings standpoint with Ryan Harris climbing into the right-handed batter's box. Richter's out on third, the first offering. On the outside corner is there for a strike.
Yeah, Bagley obviously just trying to close out the inning now. Don't want to give anything else up. He's got a runner in scoring position.
It's the 0-1 delivery, another off-speed pitch from Bagley that misses high. Third error of the game for Wheaton assessed there on Levingood. It is a base hit, but then everyone else advancing the extra bags due to that fielding error. Tough break for the Thunders. The 1-1 fastball fouled straight back to the netting, directly protecting us here behind home plate.
I don't know why I keep flinching at these. I know the net's there. It's just like, it's the athlete in me, you know? I've got the reflexes.
You've just outed yourself for saying you flinch. You're supposed to say you were ready for it the whole time.
No. Everybody listening knows I flinch.
It's the 1-2 delivery on the ground. Nice play by Noah Yee at short, and the throw to first is in time. That is a pretty 6-3 put out to retire the side. 10 to the plate for Edgewood here in the 5th. They score 6 times. 6-1's the score as we head to the last of this 5th frame.
All right, Yee up to bat after that really good play.
Yeah, top of the order here. The bottom of the 5th, Noah Yee, Alex Gill, Braden Engel, righty-lefty. Third time this crop leading off in an inning for the Thunder in this game as the first pitch from Alex Zarski is there for a called strike. 6-1 Edgewood, 6 runs, 7 hits, no runs for the Eagles, a run on 5 hits, and 3 errors for the Thunder. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back here with you at Lee Pfund Stadium, and all 6 of those runs for the Eagles, Parker, coming in this top half of the 5th inning. Everything just kind of falling out from underneath the Thunder defensively.
Yeah, not the best showing from the Thunder defensively. Obviously, you had a couple errors. You had Bagley give up the homer, the 2-run homer. I think I see a little bit of action in the bullpen. Makes you wonder if Bagley's going to come out for a 6th. You know, other than that one inning, he's done a fantastic job on the mound today.
It's a good start to the inning. Noah Yee, a base knock into right. He's now got a hit in each of the 2 games of the twin bill this afternoon. Now 3 straight games with a hit as well for the Thunder shortstop.
And he had that fantastic play to close out the top of the 5th.
As we were saying, though, it's too bad that 6 runs had already come across. Alex Gill, big swing here on the first pitch, sending it deep to center. Tolliver losing room at the track and is going to one-hop the wall. Yee quickly motoring to third. Alex Gill has another multi-hit game.
And a good double there from Gill gets 2 runners in scoring position. Thunder have a chance to get back within fighting distance.
Yeah, trailing by 5.
Swinging distance.
Good part of the order, though, Parker, to have up here with Braden Engel climbing into the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, you got Engel right here, and then, of course, after you have the hottest bat on the team, Rutledge Feltel, the senior out of Jacksonville, Florida, the Gator Man.
And it'll be Ryan Cartwright after him. Infield at regular depth. First base playing in, though, that being Jacob Carney. The first pitch to Engel, popped up, foul territory down the third base line, giving way to Prindle in foul territory to make the catch for the first out. Now here is Feltel. Thunder need him more than ever right now.
Yeah, they need a good one of his pops here.
He's got 2 hits in the game, 2 for 2. RBI double in the first to get the scoring started. Had a base hit back in the third.
And, of course, he hammered one home in the first game of this doubleheader.
And unfortunately, we won't get to see him hit here as Edgewood's going to put him on first base with the bag open.
Hey, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. They're going to load the bases up here with 1 out. This is exactly the same spot that Edgewood was in the last half of this inning.
They're putting fuel to the fire here for the catcher, Ryan Cartwright, who is 0 for 2. Last time up, ended the third inning, hitting into a fielder's choice over to the third baseman, Hayden Hellenbrand. So the sun's starting to go in here in Carroll Stream. Just got a bit of a chill.
Do you feel bad if you're Feltel there, or do you feel pretty good about yourself knowing that you scare them so much that they intentionally walk you?
I would say I feel pretty good about myself knowing that you've had that much of an impact on their pitching staff, not just in this game, but on the day. And now you're hoping that what they did to you can fire up the guy that's stepping into the box right now in Cartwright.
Yep. Feltel's one of these utility guys. He came in earlier this year. I think it might have been during one of their spring break bouts or quickly thereafter. He came in pitching for a save. He plays first base. And he's also a designated hitter.
That's what's so awesome about Division III baseball. You get a lot of more guys that can do multiple things. Cartwright, first pitch swinging, popped up, shallow right center, drawing out. Is Bentavanega going to make the catch? Yee tagging from third with a lot of speed. He'll dive in safely, head first into home. It is now 6-2.
Not exactly what you want, but the sac fly there. Good for a run.
Coming through and producing at the end of the day, like you said. Would have preferred something down in the outfield to bring home too, but hey, Thunder will take the runs any way they can get them, trailing right now. So they remain on first and second with 2 down for the third baseman, Will Clegg. And out on second is Alex Gill with Feltel remaining at first. Zarski's still throwing for Edgewood. First pitch missing downstairs. Good block there by Richter to keep everyone at their bases.
Yeah, Gill thought about going there for a second. Trots back to second base.
And we'll see if a pitching change is made for the Thunder when we get to the top of the 6th.
Yeah, we've got action in both bullpens right now. The Eagles warming up somebody over there down first base line. Thunder warming up somebody in their bullpen.
Not much longer for either starter in game 2. 1-0 fastball right down the middle, ripped into left field for a base hit. Getting waved around from third is Gill. The throw to the plate, cut off, and is not in time. Will Clegg, another multi-hit game, and he drives in the second run of the inning for Wheaton. It is now 6-3.
Hey, props to Richter there, showing off the bunnies, but because he had to jump, he wasn't able to get down in time.
Now the tying run steps up to the plate for the Thunder in Noah Husted.
Good speed there from Levengood.
Each team now with 8 hits as well.
Or was that?
Some new tape
Engel
being put on for Richter. They mentioned, yes, Engel in to score.
Yep, Engel in to score.
Trailing by just 3. Still plenty of ball to be played, though. 8 of the game's 9 runs have come across in this 6th frame.
And this is what we were talking about, right? A lot of people say baseball is a boring game to watch. Can't just sit out and watch baseball. Can't even watch it on TV. But these are the innings that really make baseball exciting. If it's a good offensive battle, this is what makes it exciting. If it's a good defensive battle, going a quick 1, 2, 3 inning is what makes it exciting.
2 aboard with 2 down. The first pitch to Houston misses away. And I told you this in between innings earlier on as well. It's what's so awesome about all sports, obviously, but especially baseball, that being my favorite sport, is that you never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. That's my favorite thing to say. Not only do you never know what you're going to see, you never know what you're going to learn. I always say you learn something new every day.
If you stick around long enough.
If you do, that is very true. As the 1-0 to the first baseman, Houston misses high for ball 2. And it's a different game every time.
There's so much variance and so little room for error.
Yeah.
You talk about football, all right? Game of inches, margin for error is small. The margin for error is even smaller in baseball, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
They move over to second prior to the 2-0 offering on Noah Husted. And also, too, you never know who's going to play hero.
Oh, yeah.
You got your heavy hitters in the order, but on any given day, I think that's the best part, too. A lot of times you go to a ball game, and even if one team on paper looks better than the other, you never know who's going to show up that day. As Husted's now way in the driver's seat at 3-0, that delivery from Zarski missing downstairs.
Yeah, Zarski getting way behind himself here against Husted. Doesn't want to load the bases up here, but that might be what he's facing here as he goes behind 3-0.
He's got a guy on deck who's seen the ball well off him today as well, in David Levengood. It's the 3-0. This is for ball 4. Second 4-pitch walk drawn in as many innings for Noah Husted, and here is David Levengood.
Yeah, once again, the bases are loaded for the Thunder here in the bottom of the 5th.
I believe now we will see a move made to the bullpen. 6-3 the score, bottom 6, bases loaded, 2 outs. We'll be back after this pitching change here from Lee Pfund Stadium. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back here with you for a pitching change in the bottom of the 5th inning from Lee Pfund Stadium. Parker, Edgewood going with a freshman right-hander with the bases loaded in a big spot.
Yeah, big-time moment here for a freshman. You got to think he might be just a little bit nervous. Levengood, a hot bat so far this game, so far in this doubleheader even.
Yeah, Levengood had a home run taken away an inning ago in the 4th.
Now batting for Wheaton, left
He
fielder.
might be, a little bit upset coming out swinging hot here. I would expect him to swing at the first pitch regardless, but we'll see.
New pitcher is Owen Davis. It's the first delivery at 11 good misses, low and away. Davis, his third outing of the year, all in relief. He's pitched in 2 2/3 innings, a 6.75 ERA and a 2.25 whip. Last worked an inning against Marion on April 1st. It's the 1-0 to 11 good, hit well in the air to right center. Out in the gap, both outfielders giving chase. It'll one hop the wall.
Yeah,
Husted getting waved around from third. This one is going to clear the bags and tie the ball game.
Wow, would you look at that? That's exactly what you need. The freshman pitcher coming in, a hot bat at the plate, a bases clearing triple. That was exactly what the Thunder needed here. Now they tie the ball game up. They're no stranger from playing from behind. Tolliver and Brissack both going for that ball. Tolliver out of center field, Brissack out of right field. They were converging, didn't get it down, and that ball dropped right at the wall.
Big inning in Game 1 offensively for the Thunder. They get a 5-run fifth in Game 2 to tie us at 6-all as the go-ahead run now on third base for Sean Demetrovich. 0 for 2 today as the Thunder right fielder. Takes ball one low. Good work behind home plate by Richter to keep it in front.
Yeah, and this is some good ball that we're having today. Shaping out to be a really good ball game here in game number 2 of the doubleheader.
Game 1 was great as well, and we get a bit more of a crowd here for Game 2, seeing the Thunder come back in the middle innings. Demetrovich now up in the count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, good eye there by Demetrovich.
Had that outing against Marion that I mentioned on the first, in his first outing of his collegiate career, March 13th against Carroll, worked an inning in 2/3. It's a different CCIW opponent in the Pioneers. They called strike makes it 2-1.
Pioneers from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Good place up there. They have good facilities. I like, as a football player, I like traveling up.
I was going to pick your brain on their football field as the 2-1 check swing. He did not go around. Count now 3-1. It is a much different field and overall stadium. Yep. Schneider Stadium might be the name of it.
I believe
Could
so.
be drawing a blank.
It's a good stadium.
Went up there once my junior year, and it is a bit different compared to every other facility in the conference, but it's good. I want to make sure it is a good facility. As the 3-1 to Demetrovich, slow tapper on the ground, left side, charging in Hellenbrand. His throw to first is not in time. And the Thunder have regained the lead. An RBI infield single for Sean Demetrovich.
Strong bottom of the 5th here for the Thunder. Tallying 6 runs.
And you look at it, 6 runs in the top half where the Eagles hit around. 6 runs in the bottom half where the Thunder have also hit around. Noah Yee, the leadoff man in the order, led off this inning with a base hit.
Now he's back up to the plate. But that stadium over there at Carroll, it's a good one. It kind of sits down.
Yes.
So you have some walls coming up around you. Visitor side, there's no stands. It's all on the home side. But it's a good field. I really enjoy playing there. So there's some good coverage from the sun. Had some really great experiences playing there, coming out victorious 2 years in a row, playing Carroll at their home field.
1-0 to Yee, fouled away. Always as well, obviously, promoting the CCIW. This is the non-conference clash, the NAC. I would say the CCIW and the NAC are probably 2 more similar conferences in terms of style of play, competitiveness, and geographically, more importantly, as the 1-1 to Yee bounced in for ball 2. The amount of schools in the Chicagoland area between the 2 conferences, it's wild to see how many colleges you can fit in this area.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You go down into the city, you got a couple colleges there. You got Chicago, you got North Park.
It's the laser off the bat on the 2-1 to Yee, caught by Bentavenega to retire the side. The Thunder respond to the 6th spot from the Eagles with a 6th spot of their own. It's 7-6 through 5 here at Lee Pfund Stadium. What a fifth inning we had here at Lee Pfund Stadium in Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Wheaton Thunder and the Edgewood College Eagles. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers returning to you here for another presentation of Thunder Baseball. And Parker, 12 runs scored in that frame, and we get a pitching change for the 6th for Wheaton.
Yeah, Nathan Hedlund on the mound here for the Thunder, the third baseman who also pitches. He's played third base all last week, had a couple good games at the plate and some really good fielding at third base, but now we get to see him on the mound.
The 1-0 delivery to Hellenbrand, hit in the air to left center. It's going to split the gap and one hop the wall. Hellenbrand hits the bag at second. It's his second two-bagger of the game and his third of the day.
Yeah, Hellenbrand a hot bat here for the Eagles.
Already in scoring position for a guy who we saw leave the yard last inning in TJ Tolliver.
Yeah, Tolliver's one of those dangerous guys. He hammered that two-run homer down to right field.
Is 1 for 3 in the game. Led off in Game 1 as well. Did not record a hit, but did walk in that second frame. The right-hander Hedlund's first offering to him. Shot in the air to center. It'll get down on a one-hop in front of Engel. 2 hits in as many innings for Tolliver. They're on the corners with nobody out for Edgewood here in the 6th.
Yeah, the balls are dropping all over the place. They're getting some really good hits in the gaps.
For Hedlund on the mound, it's just his third appearance of the season. All have been in relief. 6 innings of work, a 1.5 ERA and a .67 whip. The junior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, last worked 5 innings on March 21st, so it's been a bit, Parker, since he's pitched in a game. He threw 5 innings and allowed just 1 run.
He's got a great ERA, got a great whip. Baseball is one of those games that's so stat heavy. I've been saying it. You give me 5 math majors.
As the throw down to second, Tolliver taking off. He slides in safely.
You give me 5 math majors from Wheaton, tell them about the stats. I guarantee you they have a field day out here.
Get our own team running stats for us. All the advanced metrics as well. It's become more and more of a thing in the game. There are new stats every year that you feel come up that you've never heard of before, as the 1-0 to Dominic Lee misses inside for ball 2. That's the beauty of the game. I always try to say, though, you need to find a balance. Keep the old school feel of it, but it's important to embrace not only the new technology in the game, but the new metrics as well.
Yeah.
It's always evolving. That's all sports, but more, I feel like more heavy, like you mentioned, in baseball, is the 2-0 breaking ball to Lee is there for strike 1.
Talking about this new technology, you think about the pitch comms.
Yeah.
You know, the little watches that they wear. I guess I'm more old school. I like the hand signals.
You like flashing the signals?
Yeah.
Well, it's all fun and games till people start picking signals off, as the 2-1 is bounced in, ricocheting away from Cartwright, but he's able to keep it near him and hold the runners at second and third. Count now 3-1 on the designated hitter lead.
You know, it's funny you should bring that up to an Astros fan. There's a trash can over there I can go bang on. Tell you exactly what Hedlund's going to throw.
I wouldn't say just that. It is very common for teams to be able to guy out on second to pick off the signals, and for the catcher, you got to flash. All right, we're going second and fourth signal here as the 3-1 misses low and into Lee for ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, not the position you want to be in to start off the 6th inning, especially after such a strong 5th inning from the Eagles. Hedlund coming to the plate. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a brief intermission here as they meet at the mound.
And if you're just joining us, you've missed a lot, especially in the last inning. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Edgewood in this game. 7 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors for the Thunder. Each team getting 6 in the 5th. The 1 run separating the 2 squads came back in the home half of the 1st. It was Rutledge Feltel with an RBI double with 2 down in that inning to get the scoring started. We've had now 2 pitching changes total in the game, 1 from each side, as Nathan Hedlund's already got his back against the wall here with the bags juiced and nobody out.
Yeah, not a great position that you want to be in. You know, we've seen if you've been around baseball long enough, you've seen pitchers get into this situation and able to claw themselves out.
We talked about the game flying by through the first handful of innings. We've hit a lull here. That's okay.
That's the beauty of baseball.
Yep. No, it's a timeless game. And this is, we always talk about exactly where you want to be, where you need to be. Jacob Carney, the 3-hole hitter. He's already got 2 hits in this game for the Eagles. He climbs in.
You know, we talk about keeping some stats and finding new stats to, find each year for baseball. Never forget when I was younger and I figured out what batting average was, and I tried to calculate all the batting averages of my favorite players on their own.
How about Jacob Carney back to center, deep on the track. Catch made by Engel. 2 runners tag Tolliver to third and in to score is Hellenbrand. We're all even again here at 7.
Yeah, if that sac fly good to get the tying run across. And that one was hit way deep into the deep part of this field. Right back. He probably hit that about 390.
And well struck to deep center. Stays in the yard, lucky for the Thunder. And with runners on the corners and 1 out, it brings up the shortstop, Kyle Prindle.
You know, just a reminder, that wind is blowing out. 8 miles an hour, 13-mile-an-hour gusts. It's blowing directly south.
As we looked at the American flag a couple innings ago, it was blowing out. It is not directly blowing out anymore as the count begins 0-1 on Prindle.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
The runner on first being Lee, Tolliver on third. Headland in desperate need of a ground ball here.
Get a ground ball, turn double.
As he misses low at the ankles, just off the plate to even the count at a ball and a strike. It is Brevin Brissack on deck. We get to the right-handed part of the Edgewood order after Prindle. Runner takes off for second, 1-1 in the air to left field. And Levengood's gonna have to play it on a bounce and it gets over his glove. Tolliver scores, getting waved around. Behind him is Lee. There will be no throw to the plate there. Edgewood recaptures the lead. It is 9-7 Eagles.
Yeah, good double there. And the ball takes a favorable Eagle bounce over the head of Levengood.
I've always said, like I've mentioned, playing here a lot growing up, a unique aspect of Lee Pfund Field is the all-turf surface.
Yep.
You see a lot of fields where you'll have natural throughout, which is most of the cases, or you'll have the turf infield, but a natural outfield. We're talking CCIW fields. Carthage has that. They have natural surface in the outfield, turf infield. Here it's all turf, so you got to play the bounces, and even for the home outfielders, it can get complicated at times. So we'll have a call to the bullpen here with 1 out in the 6th. Edgewood's played at 3 so far. 9-7 is our score. Billy Kessler's the new pitcher into the ball game for Wheaton. He enters with a runner on second and 1 out. here in this top of the 6th inning. And Joachim Parker Rogers back here with you for some more Wheaton College baseball. 9-7 the score. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Kessler, the right-hander, in relief of Hedlund. The first pitch breaking ball to Brissack on the ground to short. Yee's got it in the hole. His long throw across the first is in time for out number 2.
Kessler, the freshman out of San Clemente, California. He's been reliable so far this year for the Thunder.
The third arm used. Nathan Hedlund only able to record one out, Parker, in this frame. And Kessler looking to just limit the damage, get him out. 3 runs have been pushed across by the Eagles to give them the lead once again here.
Yeah, but this game is still manageable. It's only a 2-run game so far. 9-7. So a high-scoring game.
It is very early on in this game. The big innings been very, very prevalent so far as Daniel Bentavenega has 2 hits to his name in this one. Right-handed hitting, second baseman fouls off the next offering from Kessler. Count now at 1-2. Last time up, a 2-run single for Bentavenega in that 6-run 5th inning. Also had a base knock in the 4th. Should say they count at a ball and a strike on him. The runner on second is Kyle Prindle. Drove in the latest run. 1-1 breaking ball fouled back. Now the count is at a ball and 2 strikes.
That one going right back behind our heads.
And over the food truck as well. Everyone getting involved in the action today, even if you're off the playing field. As mentioned as well, last inning Wheaton hit around. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 spots due up when we get to the home half of this 6th inning.
Gil Engelfeltel.
It's a good trio to have up as the 1-2 lined into right center. It's Bentavenega's 3rd hit of the ball game. And he'll roll out in front of the warning track. He's looking to stretch it to a double. The throw in there will not be in time. Prindle's in to score.
Good RBI double right there from Bentavenega. Puts the Eagles up by 3 here in the top of the 6th.
Now a 4-run inning for Edgewood. 10-7 the score. And it brings up the catcher Karsten Richter, who is 1 for 3, got his first hit of the game in the 5th. It was the ball that got under the glove of Levengood, allowed everyone to advance an extra 180 feet.
How long does this momentum keep up? Not just for the Eagles, but for both teams, because Wheaton also had a fantastic bottom of the 5th.
We'll see how they'll respond as well. As Kessler looks back to second, first offering. This is high.
Couldn't tell if that one was just way inside or if Richter was crowding the plate a little bit.
Count beginning at 1-0 on the Edgewood backstop, bottom third of their order for the 4th time around. Already flying through both orders in this game with the 1-0 pitch from Kessler missing high. The Harris on deck. Hellenbrand after him. It was Hellenbrand who led off the frame with a double.
Edgewood making the rounds through the order.
2-0 fastball right down the chute, fouled back. To make it 2 balls and a strike on Carson Richter. One of the 3 newer additions to the lineup for Edgewood in game 2, along with Bentavenega, who's got 3 hits, and the man on deck, Ryan Harris.
So the variance has proved good for the Eagles so far in this doubleheader.
Worked out for Edgewood big time. They've scored 10 runs, all 10 of their runs in each of the last 2 innings. As another one fouled back by Richter to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Richter's staying alive here. He's making Kessler pitch to him.
Making him work. Right-hander coming in with 1 out in this inning. For Richter, he's starting in his 18th game, playing in his 19th contest of the season here this afternoon. Entered the game with a .283 average and a .705 OPS. It's the 2-2 offering, got him chasing downstairs. Dropped 3rd strike, throwing it down. In time is Cartwright to end the inning. 8 to the plate for Edgewood here in the 6th. They scored 4 times to get the lead back. 10-7 the score as we head to the last of the inning.
4 runs for Edgewood in the top of the 6th.
Edgewood gets the lead back with 4 in the top of this 6th inning. A high-scoring game 2 of the doubleheader. 10-7 the score. Eagles lead it. Another presentation of Thunder Baseball right here in Carroll Stream. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers with you. And Parker, perfect spot to have up in the Wheaton order, trailing by 3.
Yeah, you got Gill, Engel, and Feltel all coming up. Some solid bats and some solid cleanup. They're facing a brand new pitcher. That's Michael Joyce, the freshman out of Costa Mesa, California.
Getting some work here as the third arm used by the Edgewood staff here in game 2. All right-handers. So the next offering to Gill misses low for ball 2. Gill already with 2 hits, singled in the 3rd, doubled and scored in that 6-run 5th inning.
Yeah.
You're just joining us as well. Game 1 went to the Thunder. 11-6 was the final as Gill fouls off the 2-1 down the third base line. Lefty, righty to face the right-hander Joyce in this frame. 10 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Edgewood. 7 runs, 10 hits, 4 errors. On the Wheaton side, 2-2 curveball. Good movement on that one, Parker. It was fouled off.
Yeah, good movement, but good on Gill for getting some contact on it and staying alive.
Looking to see a better delivery here on the 2-2. Looking for something more favorable to go after. To Joyce's next delivery. Line through up the middle for a base hit. Alex Gill seeing the ball extremely well here today.
Yeah, Gill just making great contact off of that one. It came off low, hit right in the gap, and it rolled a little bit. Able to get him over to first base, and that'll bring up Engel in the lineup.
Gill has 2 3-hit games now against Edgewood, pitching for the center fielder Braden Engel, who singled and scored back in the 1st.
That's a solid day at the plate.
Yeah, I'm never going to complain with that. 6 hits in the 2 games so far, with more ball to be played as the first offering to Engel misses outside. Nearing the 7 o'clock hour in Carroll Stream. Game 1 started around 2, and despite there being 17 runs between the 2 teams, the game did not last longer than 2.5 hours. So the 1-0 fastball from Joyce is on the outer edge to even the count at a ball and a strike. And we were cruising right along in game 2 before the 12 runs from both sides struck in the 5th.
Those first 4 innings passed in just about 40 minutes maybe.
Yeah, both starting pitchers, Alex Bagley, Alex Zarski. Bagley for the Thunder, Zarski toeing the slab for Edgewood. Were being efficient, generating quick contact, and then they both hit a wall.
You know, and it happens. You know, there's a lot of variance in this game. There's a lot of, ups and downs, highs and lows. They just hit one of those, hit a little bit of a speed bump there in the 5th inning.
We've had 1 homer in this game and 1 called back homer as Engel laces the 1-2 pitch into right center. Back-to-back singles for the Thunder to lead off this home half of the 6th.
That brings up the hot bat, Rutledge Feltel, the Florida man, senior with the highest batting average on the team. Last time Feltel was at the plate, they intentionally walked him to have the bases loaded. They're going to let him swing this time.
Yeah, that intentional walk for Feltel, like you mentioned, later came in to score. He is 2 for 2. RBI double in the 1st to get the scoring started. Base hit as well in the 3rd. Each team now with 12 hits in the ballgame. Joyce set. Looks back to second. First pitch curveball to Feltel. That's there for strike 1.
That was a good pitch there from Joyce. A lot of good movement. Able to keep it up in the zone.
After Feltel, it'll be Cartwright and Clegg. Thunder chasing 3. A 1-breaker in the dirt. Nice block there. And working behind home is Richter.
You want to talk about putting in work, this food truck behind us, the 302 Burgers, they've been putting in work all afternoon.
All orders, man. 6:45, and they are still churning out orders for the people as Rutledge now ahead in the count at 2-1. That one missing downstairs out of the hand of Joyce.
And we have the potential to see the bases loaded here with no outs. We do have Cartwright on deck.
The first base side of the rubber, Joyce. 2-1 breaking ball there to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that one dropped right in the zone. That was just a beautiful pitch from Joyce, the freshman, trying to battle himself out of a little bit of a hole.
A good opportunity here for the Thunder. And a good crowd here to cheer him on. The 2-2. This is down. Ricocheted away from Richter. Because of that, each runner will advance 90 feet. They're on second and third now, and a full count on Feltel.
Now we got 2 in scoring position. Feltel battling a full count here right now.
See if he gets that fastball to go after.
You got to think that's what he's expecting.
Joyce peers in, still looking for his first out of the frame. Here's the payoff pitch. Went off speed and he missed low.
Good eye there by Feltel. He was probably expecting a fastball, probably expecting something to swing at, but that one just goes down low. Bases are loaded now. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Leads way for the catcher, Ryan Cartwright. Had a sacrifice fly his last time up in the 5th.
The catcher, number 9, Ryan Cartwright.
We're getting a little more wind here as the sun is going down. That could be very favorable here in the last few innings of ball.
Cartwright looking for his first hit of the game. No better time to do it than right now. It's the first pitch to him. Grounded through the hole into right field for a base hit. 1 run scores, getting waved around as well as Angle. It's a 2-run single for Ryan Cartwright to make it a 1-run game.
I guess ask and you shall receive. Speaking into existence, I think that might be called manifestation. As Cartwright gets the 2 RBI single, Thunder are back within 1 here in the bottom of the 6th with a runner in scoring position. Feltel on second. Now it's Clegg up to bat.
Just doing my part, my friend. 2 on and nobody out with a mound meeting here. Clegg's a good guy to have up as well. A couple of multi-hit games. Was a triple shy of the cycle in game 1. Those 3 knocks all being the first hits of his collegiate career, but he'll face a new arm. Pitching change here with nobody out in the 6th. 10-9 the score.
stepping up to the plate for the Thunder, third baseman number 31, Will Clegg.
Will Clegg will face the new right-hander. It's the junior Ulta Huntsman entering into a 10-9 ball game. The Thunder having runners on first and second with nobody out in the bottom of the sixth. Andy Yockum, Parker Rogers join you back here at Lee Pfund Stadium. And Parker, Huntsman has worked in just one other ball game this season.
Yeah, he's worked in just one other ball game. He has 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 2 hits, and 2 runs, so he has a 2 ERA. Not the position that he wants to be battling out of right here with the runner in scoring position, no outs, and such a close ball game.
Will Clegg is 2 for 3 in the contest. Singled his last time up an inning ago. The count now 2-0. Huntsman missing down the turf on both deliveries to Clegg. 19 runs, 25 hits between the two teams. All 4 errors in the game belong to Wheaton.
I think we got some hot bats today.
Yeah, everyone's swinging it well. 17 runs combined between the two squads in game 1. Huntsman set first base side of the rubber. 2-0 fastball fouled off by Clegg.
That one will take a swim in the pond.
Clegg knew he just missed it, too. That's exactly where he wanted it on a 2-0 offering.
Reminder, it is Cartwright at first and Feltel at second. Cartwright yamming a 2 RBI single.
That one getting through the hole into right field, making it just a 1-run game once again for the Thunder. As the 2-1 will have to wait. Huntsman, an inside move, looks to second, and it gets into center field. Feltel will move up to third. They're on the corners now.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite pictures in baseball, runners on the corners.
What are we doing? Dude, just stick the throne at the 20. Need to focus more on the actual pitch.
Clegg now with the tying run just 90 feet away. Also had doubled as the leadoff man back in the second. 5 hits between the two games for the freshman today. Huntsman set the 2-1 home. This is low for ball 3.
He might walk the bases full here with no outs, bottom of the 6th. Husted up to bat after Clegg.
We'll see if Clegg gets something to drive here. The 3-1 in there on a fastball for strike 2.
We got a full count.
We'll see if the runner Cartwright is in motion here as well over at first. Deep breath for Huntsman. The payoff pitch misses out for ball 4.
And he loads the bases up here with that walk.
It'll be for Noah Husted. Husted 0 for 1 in 3 plate appearances. Has drawn a walk in each of his last 2 trips to the plate. Both of those came on 4 pitches as well, Parker.
Hit ties the ball game here, whether it's a sac fly or ground out.
Looking for something in play here.
Try to get ahead just a little bit if you're the Thunder. Give you a little bit of leeway going into the 7th with Kessler on the mound.
First offering to Husted on the inside corner is there for strike 1. First strike. And the at-bat from Huntsman. Mentioned the other game that he worked in this year through a third of an inning against Carroll back on the 13th of March, nearly a month ago. Nice breaking ball there to make it 0-2.
Yeah, he's getting all these strikes on the inside of the plate here.
And that outing against the Pioneers, 2 hits, 2 earned, a pair of walks and a strikeout for Huntsman. He's way ahead here on the Thunder first baseman, Noah Husted. The 0-2 bounced in, kicks away from Richter. Feltel breaking to the plate, he'll score. We are tied at 10.
20 runs scored here through 6. Feltel with the tying run coming from third. Off of a bad bounce from the pitch from Huntsman.
3 runs now in this inning. Still nobody out. 2 runners are in scoring position.
good thing for Huntsman is he is operating ahead of himself right now in the count.
Corners in, middle's back. Important to keep in mind here with the 1-2. In on the hands, Husted in the air, struck well to center. Tolliver makes the catch, tagging from third is Cartwright. He's in to score, and the Thunder have regained the lead.
The sac fly there from Husted is good for an RBI. Gives the Thunder the lead.
Left fielder number 15, David Levengood.
David Levengood, biggest swing of the bat in this game for Wheaton his last time up an inning ago. That 3-run triple to tie it up at 6. There's another runner in scoring position here with Clegg out on second base. Huntsman looks back to second twice on Clegg. First pitch swinging. Levengood into right center for a base hit. This will make it 12-10 Wheaton. It's a 2-hit game for David Levengood.
Clegg will score from second, put the Thunder up 2 runs. And Levengood with a great chop out into the gap there into right field. Right center.
5 runs now, Parker, in this inning. Now twice Wheaton has told Edgewood, hey, whatever you can do, I can do better.
They sure have. Matching their runs in the 5th inning. And now getting ahead of them in the 6th.
Still just 1 away, 8th batter of the inning. Sean Demitrovich takes strike 1 on the outside corner. An RBI infield single last inning. And we'll see here. Any more runs can be thrown up in this inning. If it's enough for the Wheaton bullpen, they still got 9 outs to work with. They got to figure out how those 9 outs are going to be covered. Huntsman's 0-1. Demitrovich shows bunt, puts it down in front of the plate. There will be no play made there. Richter sliding out in front of the mound. Huntsman giving way. Nobody's there, and there are runners on first and second.
And that's what we were talking about earlier when it comes to bunting. Bunting's a lost art. Demitrovich able to get that one to hop twice right in front of home plate. And Richter not able to corral it because of the second bounce that it took.
Noah Yee, the 9th batter in this inning, already up to the plate for the 5th time in this game.
It's a healthy amount of appearances at the plate in a ball game.
Yeah, the leadoff man, 5 plate appearances in 6 innings. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Yee 1 for 4 in the game, singled and scored last inning. He's the only Thunder batter to hit twice in the bottom of inning 5. Ended the frame with a line out over to second base on a well-struck ball. He is seeing it well in both games here today.
He sure is. He's seeing it well. He's fielding it well. He's having an all-around great ball game.
He's made a couple nice plays at short, like you said, as that slider from Huntsman on the outside corner is there for strike 2.
See if Yee can stay alive here. It's an 0-2 count.
Levengood on second, and Mitrovich on first. Huntsman looks back to second a few times, and he gets Yee chasing on the 0-2. Down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Jack Gill will come up to the plate for the Thunder with a man on first, man on second.
The leadoff man in this inning, Parker, had singled and scored
Second baseman number 32, Jack Gill.
earlier on. Has a runner out scoring position again here. Thunder don't want to just have a 2-run lead. The way this game has gone, no lead is safe.
See if Gill can continue his hot streak as he comes back up to the plate.
First offering misses low and gets away from Richter. Everyone will move up 90 feet.
Richter just kind of stared at that one for a second before getting to his feet. May have been a bit confused at where that one bounced.
And we've talked about the hot streak for Gill. He's got 3 hits in each game today, 3 for 4 here in game 2 with a double and a pair of singles. He's also scored twice. Has a chance here to add on to this Thunder lead. Huntsman set. A 1-0, shot back up the middle, off Huntsman, ricocheting to short. And Prindle's just going to eat it. He'll get by him into center field. Those 2 runs do come in to score. It is 14-10-8. Parker, we got ourselves a football score here at Lee Pfund Stadium in the bottom of the 6th inning.
We most certainly do, and you love to see it. A great offensive battle here against the Thunder and the Eagles. That one just bouncing off the ankle of Huntsman.
A tough ricochet for Prindle to take care of, getting into center field, extends the inning for Braden Engel.
That makes 7 runs so far in this inning.
7 for the Thunder, 4 in the top half for Edgewood as Huntsman's first pitch to Engel misses off the plate for ball 1. The 2 innings here have felt like a marathon in its own right here in game 2. Probably these last 2 innings have equated how long the first 4 were, as Engel's now ahead at 2 balls and no strikes.
Sometimes the pace speeds up, sometimes it slows down. That's the beauty of the game. It's definitely slowed down here a little bit in the last 2 innings as we're going into the back third of this ball game. See if it picks up in pace again.
Now 3-0 on Engel. Both RBIs credited there to Gill. So the first 2 runs he's driven in today. Did not drive in a run in game 1 either. So he has 7 hits between the 2 games, Parker, but just those 2 driven in. He's still been extremely impactful for the Thunder, arguably between him and Clegg, the offensive players of this doubleheader. The count now 3-1 on Engel.
Most definitely. Those 2 have just been consistent at the plate over the course of the past 2 games here so far today. Definitely the way that you want to end the weekend, being consistent. You've had a long work week. You know, this is the 4th game you're playing. I want to take those 2 off days.
See, 3-1 on the ground to first, taken right to the bag to retire this side. 11 sent to the plate. For the Thunder, they have another big inning. They put up 7 to take a 14-10 lead as we're 2/3 of the way home in game 2.
7 runs off of 6 hits.
Top 7 here at Lee Pfund Stadium. 24 runs between these 2 teams in game 2 of the doubleheader. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back here with you. 8-9-1 due up in the frame for Edgewood. 7 runs in the home half of inning 6 for the Thunder, Parker, to give them the lead right back.
Yeah, this has been such a back-and-forth game, and that's really what's made this game so fun to watch. Like you mentioned, we had a quick 4 innings. Then we just had a bit of a slugfest in the last 2. Kessler back on the mound. Each team, well, I should say Wheaton going through 3 pitchers, and that last inning saw the Eagles go through 2 for a total of 4 pitchers used this game as Kessler strikes him out.
Harris down looking. Billy Kessler pumping that fastball on the outside corner. Yeah, if you look at the last 2 innings, 6 runs, 4, and then 7. So 13 runs in the last 2 innings for Wheaton, 10 runs in the last 2 for the Eagles as it brings up their third baseman, Hayden Hellenbrand, who's got a pair of doubles in this game.
You know, and you were a pitcher. What was better for you, taking somebody down swinging or taking somebody down looking?
Honestly, I never had a preference as long as I got them. That's all I cared about. But
hey, there you go.
The looking, I always got more swinging strikeouts. I wasn't a flamethrower, so guys were more often chasing my stuff. Not necessarily freezing guys, but that's why I would say on the occasion, getting a guy looking felt pretty good. But as long as you set him down, that's all that matters, is Hellenbrand in the hole here at 0-2. And we're looking for these pitchers on each side now. It's tough to get back into it for the Stavs mentally. You know, one side you've allowed 10, the other you've allowed 13 in the last 2. But we're seeing from Kessler, it's just throwing strikes, continuing to pound the zone as the 0-2 to Hellenbrand misses down. And I'll give both of these pitching staffs credit. Not a lot of walks have been issued in this game. You look at a box score like this, 10 runs, 12 hits, and an error for Edgewood, 14 runs, 16 hits, 4 errors for Wheaton. You have to imagine a boatload of walks have been thrown in there. That's not the case. A lot of strikes being thrown, a lot of balls put in plays. The next 2-strike delivery from Kessler fouled off down the first base line.
You know, another thing to note for this pitching staff, this pitching crew from Edgewood, they're playing 36 innings of baseball in 24 hours. Had a doubleheader yesterday. They have the doubleheader today. They've used a lot of arms.
And there was a conference doubleheader as well. Beating a really good Concordia, Wisconsin squad on the road twice. A 1-run game and then a 5-run victory as the count now 2-2. That fastball from Kessler missing high.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do, especially on the road.
And then they got to come on the road again here in non-conference action. On Saturday, their bats have traveled, but as have the Thunders. With Kessler's 2-2 fastball missing high, count drawn full here on Hayden Hellenbrand. The sun is pretty much faded off for the day. The lights are on here in Carroll Stream.
Yeah, that sun is finding its home in the western sky. You're gearing up to be a beautiful Saturday night in Carroll Stream.
Payoff pitch in the air down the right field line. That'll find the parking lot. Good battle here between Kessler and Hellenbrand with 1 away and the bases empty in the top of the 7th.
Hope those cars over there are okay.
It's always something to manage when you're here at Lee Pfund. You got to figure out where the best spot to park is.
You know, I thought the best spot to park was out over here to the right. I was sitting here.
Yeah, I'm back there.
Yeah,
obviously the viewers at home can't see where I'm pointing, but you can see it.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
out
see
in that corner.
See, I'm the first car right here to the right.
It's the 3-2 barreled into left. Heldenbrand's got his 3rd hit of the game. But yes, always tricky to navigate because if you look behind us to our left, that is not where you want to be. You don't want to be parked back there. Or parked along the line, honestly, down the first base side out of play, because that's the first place foul balls from right-handed hitters will land. So you got to park strategically here. Those Wheaton fans that are watching that couldn't make it out to the yard this afternoon understand that as we get back to the top of the Edgewood order and TJ Tolliver.
I had a ball hit my tire on Thursday night. I got real scared for a second there, but it dropped right before it hit the old Tahoe.
The worst places it could hit your car is the first pitch to Tolliver misses up and out for ball 1.
Yeah, I got big tires. Wasn't too worried about it. I'm only worried about the windshield.
That is the number one thing to keep in mind when being around here is out of the stretch. Kessler's 1-0 misses low. Freshman right-hander looking for a bouncing ball on the infield to try and get out of this.
I'm sure my dad would have loved a call. He lives in Europe right now, so it would have been the middle of the night. Hey, Dad, I need to drive home, but my windshield is shattered. I was at work, and, foul ball found its way to the driver's side of my windshield.
The 2-0 is there for strike 1. Never a fun call to have. It's a similar call to getting into an accident, but not as necessarily bad because, well, it wasn't necessarily something you did.
I had one of those last week. It was raining. I was actually leaning over to grab my phone to call my dad, and
the 2-1 misses the zone. Throw down to second on a hop is not in time. Cartwright trying to catch Hellenbrand stealing instead of runner in scoring position now for Edgewood, and a 2-2 count on Tolliver. So you were driving home last week.
Yeah, I was driving home and leaned over to grab my phone to call my dad. You know, he's in Europe right now. Don't get a ton of time to call him because of the time difference. And my foot slipped off the brake and my car started creeping just a little bit. tagged the back of an old lady. There was no damage. Nobody was hurt. Everything was fine.
It's always the fender benders, too, that you get rattled with. I get you, man.
That was the first time I've ever been in any sort of predicament with my car, and I was like, man. So I pulled over, called my dad. Dad, you got the insurance? I tagged somebody from behind. He goes, hey, it's all right, man. Shake it off. This stuff happens. Got to learn.
Can equate it to sports in a weird way as well. Obviously, though, no damage being done through that. But, yeah, no, it is. They're always the tough calls to have as count remains 2-2 on Tolliver. He's got a 2-run homer in this game. That came back in the 5th. Scored as well an inning ago in the 4-run 6th for the Eagles. Kessler's next 2-2. Shot in the air, hit well to left. Levingood out in front of the warning track, and he flags it down for out number 2. Tagging to third is Hellenbrand. The throw will not be there in time. So a runner now on third with 2 down here in the 7th for Edgewood.
Yeah, that was a good catch by Levingood. You know, tracking that ball all the way to the warning track. Coming up with the out.
Another run 90 feet away for the Eagles, and it brings up their designated hitter, Dominic Lee, who has reached in 3 of his 4 plate appearances this evening. Now as we have gone past the 7 o'clock hour in Carroll Stream. Game 1 starting around 2 o'clock here. Nothing beats a day at the yard. Infield in regular, depth with 2 away. The first offering to Lee, misses low for ball 1. We're still having orders being called out at the truck behind us. 7 innings strong.
Wonder if we can get them to put in an order for us. Hey, we're working over here. Get me a burger.
Parker's hungry. He wants to try one of the 302 burgers as the 1-0 is laced into right center. It'll go all the way out in front of the track. Lee looking for 2. He slides in safely. So a 2-out RBI double for Dominic Lee. It's his first hit of the game, his 4th time on the bases, and it's now 14-11 Thunder. The middle of the order now, Parker with Jacob Carney. And we know with this game, we said it in the last half inning, no lead is safe. And we'll see what Wheaton can respond with once they get out of this and we enter the home half of the 7th inning.
See what Carney has dialed in. He's been good at the plate a little bit here today. He's also been really good in his defensive position.
He's got 2 hits. Last time up a frame ago, a sac fly. And with how I score the game in my card here, I color in the home plate red every time someone scores. I've had to use my red pen a lot today in both games as the first pitch to Carney misses for ball 1. Now 25 runs here in game 2 between these two teams. We had 17 in game 1, and that knock there from Lee being the 30th hit of the game between both sides. Kessler set. Looks back to second twice on Lee as the 1-0 home miss is low and in for ball 2 on Jacob Carney. Be Carney, then Prindle, and then Brisick. The only time Carney hasn't had a productive trip to the plate in this game is when he went down swinging to retire the side back in the 3rd.
If the only time you haven't been productive at the plate is all the way back in the 3rd and you're batting here in the 7th, that's a good day at the plate, especially with all the runs scored so far.
It's good in game 1 as well. He keeps it rolling in game 2. 2-0 pitch lined into center for a base knock. Throw to the plate. Will be up the line in well late. Lee scores a couple of 2-out RBI knocks for the Eagles. They put it within 2.
Yeah, the tying run here coming up to the plate in the form of Prindle.
3rd hit of the ball game for Carney. And you mentioned here is Kyle Prindle, who's got 2 hits and 2 runs scored.
Number 2, Kyle Prindle.
I think this is a case of both pitching staffs not being at full strength. The offenses are always going to show up and be ready to roll. They're taking advantage here in game 2 as get a little bit of a wind gust here. The sun has gone down. Just a bit chillier here in Carroll Stream as the first pitch to Prindle is fouled straight back.
Yeah, it was good. It was good for a while. Then the sun went down. The sun stopped shining. Bit of a tongue twister there. The sun stopped shining, and we got a bit of a breeze here.
Long pause for Kessler. He's ahead 0-1. Goes with a breaking ball that misses downstairs to even the count. A lot of long innings And there has been a run scored in each of the last half innings. Last time there wasn't a run put up in a frame was the home half of the fourth.
So we've had a very eventful couple innings here.
Yeah. 6 runs in each half of the fifth, 4 in the top of the sixth, 7 in the home half of that frame, and now we already have 2 here in the seventh. The 1-1. Fastball just missing outside for ball 2.
Kessler doing a decent job here in relief. Doing as best as he can do. The third pitcher to make an appearance today for the Thunder.
They're using just 2 in the 9 innings of game 1. Runner takes off in the 2-1. On the outside corner for a called strike. Throw down to second, and the tag wasn't made in time. It's a great throw by Ryan Cartwright. But getting in under the tag was Kearney. He's in scoring position with a 2-2 count now on Kyle Prindle.
Yeah, Kearney had a good lead off there and a good burst of quickness, able to just slide right in.
Prindle representing the tying run in the left-handed batter's box for Edgewood is hitter number 6 of the frame for the Eagles. Kessler set, hands held high. The 2-2. Slow tapper on the ground to first. Husted gloves over to cover as Kessler in time to retire the side. Only 2 runs, and I say only 2 because if you've been here for the last couple of innings, we've been accustomed to a lot more. We head to the 7th. It's stretch time here at Lee Pfund Stadium. 14-12 the score in favor of the Thunder. Four, 5, 6 in this high-scoring Game 2 of the doubleheader. Post-stretch, we even had it played here at Lee Pfund Stadium. Andy Ackerman, Parker Rogers back here with you. 14-12. And Parker, as we signed off in the top of the 7th, I said only 2 for Edgewood because, well, that seemed like a huge victory for the Thunder to get out of it.
Did really get the last one. I went on the way home.
So the next offering to Feltel misses for ball 1. New pitcher into the game. It's George Goriotis, if that name sounds familiar. He pitched in game 1 as well, as ball 2 is in low on Feltel. He recorded just 1 out in the game, so it was more than good to go here in game 2.
Feltel, the hot bat here. one of the hot bats here today.
2-1. Slow tapper to the right of the mound. Goriotis off the mound. Fields barehanded. Throw to first. Picked by Carney. That's a pretty play for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, just able to field that one. Like you said, barehanded. Not an easy thing to do, but he gets enough.
Now batting for Wheaton, catcher number 9, Ryan Cartwright.
Big Ryan Cartwright now the 5 spot in the order, and mentioned as well Goriotis, a freshman from around the area, went to South Elgin, from South Elgin, attended St. Charles North High School. Cartwright, the catcher, a 2-run single his last time up, takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Right-hander working quickly as well. A 1 misses high. Cartwright along with that 2-run single, sac fly in the 5th, so he's driven in 3 of the 14 Thunder runs. They have scored in double digits both times today. Goriotis is 1-1, has Cartwright chasing away for strike 2.
He was reaching for that one. I mean, he thought he was going to get a piece of it, but man, he was reaching.
It'll be Clegg on deck, Husted to follow. As we continue to mention, haven't had a lot of quick half innings as of late. Goriotis looking to change that here as his slider on the 1-2 misses out in the left-handed batter's box to even the count.
Yeah, you know, it might be good to have a quick 1-2-3 inning for a change of pace. Haven't had one of those, and, well, I think it might have been the first or second inning.
We're going to hope for that to be in the top half of the 8th, though. We want to see some more Thunder runs in the home half as Cartwright's worked the count full. That delivery missing downstairs. Righty on righty battle. The next 3 batters after Cartwright that Goriotis could face all from the right side as the payoff pitch, fastball middle, lifted in the air to right. That is Brissack to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th.
That'll bring up Clegg to bat.
For Clegg, he has scored twice, reached 3 times, has 2 hits in the game.
Clegg, the freshman from Wheaton, Illinois, one of the Wheaton Academy products, part of that pipeline, the Wheaton Academy to Wheaton College pipeline. You see it all over the place, whether it's baseball, whether it's wrestling, whether it's football.
We talk about it quite literally just down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Not too far off. Mentioned throughout my youth playing a lot of games here at Lee Pfund. Played probably just as many, if not more, games at Wheaton Academy's home field. Also having that turf infield surface as the 0-1 to Clegg is on the outside corner. Quickly 0-2 here on the Thunder third baseman.
So were you more partial to natural grass and a natural infield?
So growing up being a pitcher, I always preferred turf.
Okay.
Because it gave my infielders less of an excuse if they botched a ball or they booted a ball to their left. I always say the best hops come on turf. So
okay.
As a pitcher, I prefer to throw on turf, but then you deal with the turf mounds. Those can be a bit of a headache sometimes. So it's always a give and take. Would you rather have a better mound for yourself, or would you rather have your infielders receive better bounces? Because on some of those natural surfaces, man, they'll just take off on you. They'll zip over your shoulder. They'll get between the wickets. It's tough. So definitely a situation of, do I want to throw in moldeds and give my infielders better hops, or do I want to throw in spikes? As the 2-2 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 3. Goriotis works a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th, our first scoreless half inning since the home half of inning 4. Through 7 in Carroll Stream, it's the Thunder 14 and the Eagles 12. We'll be back for the top of the 8th momentarily. Is Brevin Brizak leading off the top of the 8th inning. We get our first scoreless frame since the 4th, coming in the home half of the 7th. George Goriotis out of the pen for Edgewood, getting the Thunder down in order. Andy Ockham back with you along with Parker Rogers. 14-12 the score is the first pitch of the frame to Brevin Brizak. Tapped up the middle over the mound. Gloved by Yee at short. His throw to first is in time. Wow. Noah Yee, have yourself a day. One pitch, one out for the new arm of the ballgame, J.D. Van Hook.
Yeah, J.D. Van Hook, the senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. He leads the Thunder in wins with 4. He's tied in strikeouts with 30. Tied with Cloth, who started the first game of this doubleheader, who went for 8 innings.
It's the first offering from the right-hander to Daniel Bentavenega is off the plate for ball 1.
I believe this makes Van Hook's 15th appearance of the year on the mound.
He now has the count even at 1-1. One of the more notable names to keep an eye on for this Wheaton staff, and understandably so, as the 1-1 gets by the catcher Cartwright for ball 2.
Both teams coming down the home stretch here, trying to find their stride in pitching. That 1-2-3 inning from Goriotis was beautiful, and you could tell he was really feeling it after that inning.
Let's see if Van Hook's got a response here in the top of the 8th. Here's the 2-1 to the Eagle second baseman. It's a breaking ball, sharp one, but it missed low for ball 3. 6, 7, 8 spots due up in the wings, all from the right side as Van Hook's 3-1 misses up and in for ball 4. One out walk drawn by Bentavenega. It's his 4th time on the bases in game 2. We mentioned all the notable numbers about Van Hook, where he's led the team in this year. This is his 15th appearance on the mound. You mentioned that as well. He's made 1 start. 2.63 earned run average and a 1.46 whip to go with his 4-2 record, 24 innings pitched.
It's one of my favorite stats, the whip.
The whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, because it values the walk as the first offering to the catcher. Richter misses low. A lot of people try to get away with, oh, he can come back to get you some of those walks, and walks do kill. It's Van Hook's 1-0. Fastball misses outside. For Van Hook, last time out, worked an inning on Thursday against Elmhurst. Pitched 2 innings in back-to-back days against North Central a weekend ago. The first game on April 4th allowed an earned run on 2 hits in those 2 frames, did not allow a hit or a run, and walked 1 on the 5th. It's been very sharp this season. It's exactly who this staff wants on the hill to get the final 6 outs of this non-conference tilt. Van Hook will look to first prior to the 2-0 delivery.
You know, we talk a lot about statistics, and in my experience broadcasting, you can tell a lot about a team and how they play from their statistics. I don't necessarily think that's entirely the case for baseball, because baseball is so variable.
Yeah, especially at the plate. Hitting can be very skewed when you look at things like that, as the count now draws to 3-0 on the Edgewood catcher Richter.
Give me a good basketball stat sheet. I can tell you exactly how the team's going to play, where they're going to go to, if they're going to go in the paint, if they're going to score from around.
Van Hook's now walked back-to-back hitters. It'll bring up the left fielder Ryan Harris, representing the go-ahead run here in the top of the 8th. Still looking for something on the ground. A bouncing ball up the middle could end the inning for Wheaton.
Send it to the bottom of the 8th.
We'll have a pinch runner in as well here for Richter. The Jacob Minier, number 4, checking in, and a pinch hitter will come in here for Harris as well. The Aiden Cromer was the starting second baseman in game 1.
Cromer, the 6-foot freshman out of Jefferson, Wisconsin.
You look at what he did, Parker, in game 1. Out of the 8 spot, it's exactly the spot he's hitting in now at a sack bunt. did not collect a hit. Going to change that here, representing the go-ahead run.
You think he's going to square up to bunt again, or?
Takes first pitch strike, and I think because of that being strike one, any chance of him bunting might be out the window now, looking for something to go after. The guy who can hit it on the ground at a high rate as well. You know the middle infield of Yee and Gill are going to be on high alert. Van Hook looks back to second. His 0-1 is slapped foul in the air down the third base line and out of play. Count now at 0-2.
This is a position that Van Hook wants to be in after walking 2 consecutive.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out and a pair of runners on. Next delivery from Van Hook. Fouled straight back.
Right into the net that one was. Hit it off the top of the barrel.
You look at a good bat on deck out of the 9 spot. Hayden Hellenbrand, so it's not going to get any easier for Van Hook out on the hill after this battle. His next 0-2, a fastball that misses upstairs.
You have Hellenbrand, and then you have Tolliver. Tolliver barreling a 2-run homer. What was that, all the way back in the 4th?
Seems like ages ago, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was probably a good hour and a half ago.
If not longer. It has been a long past few innings with all the runs put up as Commerce even the count here at 2-2. If you're just joining us, it was Rutledge Feltel in the home half of the first. A 2-run double got the scoring started. Then 6 in the top of the 5th from Edgewood. Wheaton responded with a 6th spot of their own in the home half. The 2-2. Breaking ball fouled off. Scoring continued in the 6th. 4 in the top half from Edgewood, 7 in the bottom from Wheaton, and then 2 more from the Eagles in the top half of the 7th. Wheaton going scoreless post-stretch, and here we are now in the top of the 8th. Van Hook set, another 2-2 home. Fouled off, Comer fighting. The pinch hitter now having appeared in both games of the Twin Bill today.
Yeah, Comer's just staying alive at the plate, making contact, trying to make Van Hook pitch to him. You can imagine he's saying, give me something I can hit.
Looking for something to drive. The tying run out on first base.
He's got a bit of a low stance in the box there.
It's the 2-2 on the ground, up the middle and through for a base hit. Getting the pinwheel around third. And coming in to score is Bentavenig. Everyone else moves up 90 feet. It is 14-13, the go-ahead run for Edgewood, now out on second base.
Yeah, that RBI double there. You know, chopped into the gap. Yee tried to dive for it, was unable to come up with it.
First hit of the doubleheader for Comer comes at a big time, and it's now Hayden Hellenbrand. And all of a sudden, instead of hoping for a ground ball in the infield to get out of it, Van Hook's going to have to blow something by Hellenbrand here. Righty-on-righty battle. JD returns to the windup. It's the first pitch. Misses behind. Hellenbrand and the runner breaks for home. Throw there, not in time. It got by the catcher Ryan Cartwright, and we're all tied at 14.
14-14 ball game. Not something you often hear in baseball. More so something heard in football.
I was going to say, just like that, another football score for you here, Parker. Very uncharacteristic as well for Van Hook on the mound right now, and the go-ahead run with 1 out, just 90 feet away. It's a mound visit here. We're all even. We've been tied up plenty of times in the game here today. Neither team giving in. Pitching staffs wearing thin.
It's one of those bend, don't break type of games.
Don't believe a pitching change is being made.
I don't know if there's action in the bullpen. Coach Husted probably just trying to get Van Hook back on track, shake out some of the nerves that he has right here.
Could also be giving guys down in the left field bullpen some time to just get up and moving around, get ready to roll. As Hellenbrand ahead here at 1-0, top of the order, and TJ Tolliver awaiting on deck for Edgewood. Infield in for the Thunder. First pitch after the meeting. Off speed from Van Hook that misses low and inside.
See how Van Hook recenters himself here. 2-0 count.
The next offering misses up and in. Nearly hitting Hellenbrand for ball 3.
Like you said, this is a bit uncharacteristic of Van Hook.
Now 28 runs, 32 hits, and 5 errors combined between both parties in game 2 as the 3-0 misses low and in for ball 4. Third walk of the inning issued by Van Hook. On the corners are the runners, and we're back to the top of the order in TJ Tolliver.
Not necessarily who you want to have at the plate when you have runners in scoring position.
Number 8, Terry Tolliver Jr.
Tolliver a couple of knocks, the biggest being that 2-run blast in the 5th. Got the scoring started for Edgewood in game 2. Good leadoff first for Hellenbrand. He stays put as the first offering to Tolliver is on the outside corner for strike 1.
Tolliver seeing that one in. He's got a bit of a staggered stance in the box. Always liked analyzing the way that people hold their stances in the box.
Especially left-handed hitters. They got the prettier swings as count evens here at 1-1 on the Eagle center fielder.
You know, being an LSU fan, past couple years, Tommy White had one of those power hitting stances. He sat down lower. Man, he was so fun to watch.
Runner takes off on the called strike, in and out of the glove of Cartwright, no throw to be made. So count now 1 and 2. Runners are on second and third for Tolliver. Like that Tommy White comparison. Forget where he's playing pro ball at now. I know he was a relatively high pick in the draft this past summer.
He's with the Athletics.
That's what I thought. What was it, second round?
Yeah, I believe it was second round. He's with the Athletics. LSU had, quite a few players go in the past 2 drafts. Had a couple pitchers.
A nice 1-2 breaking ball from Van Hook, cut on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2.
Had a couple pitchers taken as well in the draft. Ty Floyd, Nate Ackenhausen.
Nothing beats the 2023 draft of Skeens and then Cruz at 1 and 2. Both LSU Tigers to the Pirates and Nats. They're doing their thing. Skeens looking like the best pitcher in the National League.
Had a few runs tagged off of him the other day. That'll happen. Cruz had a rough start to the season, started 0 for 18.
He's figuring it out. Happens at all levels, right? It shows
sure
for
does.
these guys. It happens everywhere as Dom Lee, the DH, climbs in for Edgewood.
But what he lacked at the plate, he made up for in the field.
You look at his stretch, and you look at as well on the side of Boston. How about Rafael Devers starting 0 for 19 this year with 15 strikeouts? And I think people were saying, and they attest to that, he was hurt at the end of last season, into the offseason. So basically his spring training was all about rehabbing the shoulder. And that's what got it in the beginning of his season. So when guys go through slumps at all levels, trying to connect this to what we got in front of us here, you look at it, guys at the biggest level. I mean, any D3 guy, you see a major league hitter, and one of the best at that, go 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts. It makes you think, hey, whatever stretch I'm in right now, most likely doesn't compare even to that one, as count at 3-0 on Lee. He takes ball 4 up and away.
That'll load the bases up here, top of the 8th with 2 outs. Van Hook trying to battle back here.
Yeah, 4th walk of the inning, and a good guy to have at the plate right now for Edgewood and Jacob Carney.
Yeah, but like you said, slumps happen at all levels. I'll never forget, I think it was back in, might have been 2015, 16, 17. LSU's in the World Series, and one of our hottest bats, Kramer Robinson, he plays for the Cardinals now, got into a bit of a slump in Omaha. Not the place you really want to get into a slump at.
Yeah.
I was driving from here to California last summer. My route just so happened to take me through Omaha, so I had to, of course, had to make a stop. And
dude, it's the best. College World Series, no place like it. If you're if you're a baseball fan in general, college baseball, I've been a few times. Nothing beats it. Counting out 0-2, a nice breaking ball there from Van Hook. So were you driving through during the World Series?
I was not driving during the World Series. It was in May, so it was the beginning of May.
So they were probably just getting all set up and ready to roll for it then, man.
Every year, I spend a lot of time with my grandparents. Pops, if you're listening, every year you tell me you're going to take me to Omaha if the Tigers make it, and we've yet to go. I know it's a lot.
You've got it
sitting out in the sun.
You've got it on the record now, Parker, as the 0-2 tap foul. Bases are loaded here for the Eagles. We're tied at 14 in the top of the 8th inning.
But if the Tigers continue the way that they're playing, they got knocked out by Auburn last night. I think it was 9-4 last night. Bit of a rough game. But, hey, if they continue the way that they've been playing, they're sure to make it to Omaha. Tigers have some really good bats this year. Move Milam over to shortstop. He's been great.
The 0-2 tapped foul on the ground down the first base line. We were talking earlier about how competitive there are a lot of sports that the CCIW is at the Division III level. How about the SEC? It just means more, man.
It sure does.
Especially in baseball. It is the king of football, but it is obviously the king of baseball as well at the Division I level. Another 0-2 here from J.D. Van Hook, and he got him chasing. That's a big pitch made by the right-hander to retire this side. Edgewood, though, plates 2, and once again we're all tied up in Game 2. 14-14 the score as we head to the last of the 8th.
2 runs for Edgewood in the top.
Bottom 8, and we are still locked up. 14 all. Could get to 18 at some point here in this game. 2 runs in the top half of the 8th from Edgewood. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back here with you. 7-8-9 due up. George Goriotis back on the mound for Edgewood after working a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, Goriotis was so fired up after that 7th inning. His first inning here today in this ball game. Like you mentioned, he did pitch in the first ball game.
He's ahead 1-2 here on Husted. Husted, a pair of walks drawn today. Last time up, a sac fly in the 6th. And we'll see who gives in first. So many lead changes, so many ties. Both offenses up for the fight today in a heavyweight bout as Husted sends the 1-2 in the air to right. Brissack to his left is there to make the catch for out number 1.
It's a good tag, just didn't drop early enough for Husted. That'll bring Levin Good to the plate.
Talk about a guy who's seeing the ball well today. He's driven in 4,
Now batting for Wheaton. Left fielder
including that
number
3-run triple to tie the game back in the 5th. First pitch swinging, Levin Good in the air to right. Brissack busy this inning. He's there, camped underneath it to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. 5 up, 5 down for Goriotis out of the bullpen. It brings up the 9-hole hitter.
This is exactly
Sean
what you're
Dimitrovic.
looking for. If you're coming in relief in a game that's been so volatile with pitching.
right fielder number 28.
trying to come in and just quiet it down a little bit.
Goriotis in rhythm as well. First pitch bounced in for ball one on Dimitrovic. Sean's reached twice today, bunted his way aboard, and scored back in the 6th.
Yeah, that was a beautiful bunt he had earlier at the plate.
1-0 swung on and missed to even up the count. Also had that RBI infield single back in the 5th. He's getting it done out of the 9 spot, doing a good job. Parker flipping the card back to the top of the order. It's the 1-2. Misses low. Goriotis wanted an appeal down to first. No swing there. Now 2 balls and a strike on the Thunder right fielder.
Noah Yee on deck.
Love to flip it back here again. Fastball in there for a strike from Goriotis to even the count at 2-2.
It's 2 all around, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Bottom of the 8th.
Goriotis set a long pause, working on that first base side of the rubber. Here's the 2-2. It's tapped foul on the ground, out in front of the Edgewood dugout down the first base line.
Dimitrovic doing his best to stay alive here. Maybe try to get a little 2-out rally. That's what brought Wheaton aboard in the first inning, was a little 2-out rally.
Another 2-strike delivery coming here from the right-hander. Works quickly, and he got him swinging.
Goriotis is fired up after that 1-2-3 inning again.
6 up, 6 down for the freshman as we are through 8 in Carroll Stream. Score remains tied at 14. Four, 5, 6 here in the top of the 9th. J.D. Van Hook back to work for the Thunder. Starts off against Kyle Prindle as the first pitch is in there for strike one. 14-14 the score. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers back here with you at Lee Pfund Stadium. And here we have it, Parker. We've gotten to our final frame before we could potentially hit extras as Prindle hits the 0-1 breaking ball foul on the ground down the first base line.
This has been such an eventful ball game. We had a quick 4 innings, and we hit a bit of a lag there in innings 5, 6, 7. 8 and 9 have come and go relatively quickly. Or 7 and 8 have come relatively quickly.
We've gotten to the 9th.
We've gotten to the 9th. Yeah.
It was George Goriotis, the freshman right-hander out of the bullpen for Edgewood. A big reason for that. He's worked 1, 2, 3 frames in each of the last 2. It is out of the windup. Van Hook has his signs from Ryan Cartwright. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball that he couldn't get on top of. Count evens at 2-2. It'll be the right fielder Brevin Brissack on deck. So the 2-2 off-speed delivery fouled straight back.
Oh, that tagged a car.
I think that tagged the truck moving the 302 Burger 10 right behind us. Either that or the one behind that truck. Either way.
Tagged a truck.
Gotten a couple of them hit now here with foul balls. We've already gone through our spiel of where to park here at Lee Pfund Stadium as Prindle has drawn the count full.
The consensus was to park as far away from the field as you can.
But there is this little lot to the right that you and I both parked in, so.
Yeah, it's not a terrible place to park.
Not at all. As the 3-2 is bounced in for ball 4. Prindle works a leadoff walk here in the 9th.
You know, it's shaping up to be a real pretty evening. The moon is full. It's low and bright tonight.
Yeah.
Looking good. I will give the Midwest, some credit. You got some good sunsets, got some good, some good evening skies. Not as good as Texas, but hey.
It'll do, right?
It'll do.
Brissack showing bunt. The first pitch gets away from Cartwright, rolls all the way out in front of the Wheaton dugout, so Prindle will move to second. Cartwright lost his glove there on the delivery as well. Just an all-around weird sequence that puts a runner in scoring position for the Eagles.
Lost his glove, lost sight of the ball. I do believe we had Clegg come over from third to collect that ball.
I think over on the Wheaton side, they're trying to argue that grazed Brezick's bat as he did square around a bunt prior to the offering. Count is 1-0. Runner remains out on second base.
The unfortunate side about Division III, we don't have the same challenging rules that we have in the higher levels.
Can't always go back and look at things. I mean, we do obviously have this game recorded. That's what you and I are doing here right now, but not necessarily the same resources to make those calls. Brezick showing bunt again, pulls back in the dirt, kicks away from Cartwright, but he's able to keep it in front. Count now 2-0 on the Eagle right fielder.
Van Hook's struggling a little bit here.
He's got a guy on deck who has reached 4 times as a 3-hit game in Bentivinevich. 2-0. Bunt fouled down the third base line. Bentivinega, I should say, is on deck. Combined his name and our guy out in right field here this evening on the Wheaton side, that being Sean Dimitrovich.
Yep.
2 balls and a strike here. Brezick, who's looking for his first hit here in Game 2, left the yard. A 2-run blast in Game 1. That was his first round tripper of the season as he can't connect on that high heater. Count now 2-2.
Yeah, he wanted to smoke that one. He was trying to get all of it.
And Brezick calling time. Regathering himself here. Van Hook's worked back to even the count.
What does Van Hook go to on a 2-2 count with no outs and a man in scoring position?
And Hook looks back to second. He goes fastball, and he got him looking. Top of the zone. And Brezick is down on strikes for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th.
Brezick is not happy. Rough day at the plate for him during the second game of this doubleheader. Understandable frustration.
And he'll leave way for Bentivinega. Still a runner out in scoring position with less than 2 outs. First pitch breaking ball. Misses up and in from Van Hook for ball 1.
Bentivinega kind of flinched at that one as it got a little bit toward his noggin there.
One-0 breaking ball gets by Cartwright. Prindle moves to third. 2 balls and no strikes. Now on the Eagles' second baseman who's looking for his 4th hit of the ball game.
Go-ahead run now, 90 feet away.
Infield now all in once again for Wheaton. 2-0 breaking ball, perfectly placed by Van Hook for strike 1. When we get to the bottom of the 9th, Wheaton will bring up their 1, 2, 3 spots. We'll see if it's against Goriotis. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Goriotis is 6 up, 6 down. That's real impressive here in the dregs of this ball game.
2-1 fouled back to the screen just in front of us here to even the count. Yeah, he's gone 6 up, 6 down. Don't see why you wouldn't stick with him regardless of if it stays tied at 14 or if the Eagles can scratch across a run or 2. They're in a good position to do so with just 1 out and a man on third.
Now, the moment's not too big for the freshman Goriotis. That's what you like to see. You're throwing him into a tough position. It's a high-scoring ball game, and he's handled himself perfectly.
Yeah. He'll get really tested against Noah Yee and company in the home half. There's another 2-2 fouled back. Ball's got our name on it today, Parker. That one's down in front of the screen.
Sure does.
Protecting us as well. And what a marathon of Game 2. It was 11-6 in Game 1. Favor the Thunder if you've just tuned in throughout Game 2. It's the 2-2 hit well in the air to right. Coming in on it. It'll drop. Go-ahead run scores. And it is now 15-14 Edgewood.
Yeah, Dimitrovich unable to properly field that one as he was sliding to the ground. Took one bounce.
It'll go down as an RBI double.
So Prundle scores from third. Bentevenega advances to second. And we might get a pitching change here. Yep.
And this is the end of the line for J.D. Van Hook. Goes an inning and a third out of the bullpen here. It'll be another arm in the stable for the Thunder to try and get the final 2 outs of the 9th inning. Runner on second with 1 away. We'll be back momentarily.
Now batting for Edgewood, left fielder number 4, Jacob Minier.
Sean Smith's the new pitcher into the ball game for the Thunder. It is 15-14. Daniel Bentevenega, the go-ahead RBI double here in the top of the 9th. J.D. Van Hook out for the right-hander Smith. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers here with you from Lee Pfund Stadium. And Parker, another upperclassman getting the ball here in the 9th for the Thunder. And Smith, who fires a first pitch strike to Carson Richter.
Yeah, put the ball in the hands of those who you know are experienced. You got a pinch hitter in for the Eagles.
It's Jacob Minier, I should say, was the pinch runner for Richter earlier on in the latter innings. He gets his first plate appearance here today with ball 1 missing just low out of the hand of Smith. For Smith this season, making his 11th appearance, all have been in relief in 10 outings this year, 9 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents hitting just north of 300 against the right-hander. His hands out the belt buckle. 1-1 on the ground to the right side. Noah Husted, the first baseman's got it. He'll hit Smith in stride, who covers the bag for out number 2.
Yeah, you just want Smith to do just enough to get you out of this inning, pretty much unscathed other than that one run. Try to get the top of the order for the Thunder back up as quickly as possible, see if they can hammer one home or try to walk it off.
Be another new batter in.
Next batter up for the Eagles, the catcher number 16, Carter Kelly.
It was Carter Kelly, game 1 catcher, who was part of the switches made defensively in the last inning. Smith's last time on the mound did not record an out against North Central when he appeared on the 5th a week ago today, as the first pitch breaking ball to Kelly is swung on and missed.
Good pitch there by Smith.
Longest outing of the year for Smith. March 14th, his 3rd appearance, 2 2/3 innings, allowing 2 earned runs against Westfield State. As the 0-1 is right there for strike 2.
0-2 count now for Smith, facing down what could be Edgewood's last out of the ball game.
At least what they're hoping. They're hoping Goriotis can slam the door in the bottom of the 9th. 0-2, chopped on the ground. Yee's got it at short. He'll gather and throw to first in time. The go-ahead run for Edgewood comes across here in the 9th. Top of the order due up for Wheaton with a chance to respond. We'll be back in just a minute here in Carroll Stream.
I didn't see much of the city.
Leading off for the Thunder in the bottom of the 9th inning, the shortstop.
We do have a pitching change here for Edgewood. Bottom 9, 15-14. Thunder need 1 to tie, 2 to win it. Andy Ockham, Parker Rogers here with you. Top of the order, do it for the Thunder and their shortstop, Noah Yee. He faces Edgewood's closer in Mark Torr. First pitch fastball from the right-hander misses inside for ball 1. Torr, Parker, when we look at his numbers, been flat-out dominant this year. This is his 15th appearance, all out of the bullpen.
That's exactly why he's the closer for this Edgewood team.
It's the 1-0, fouled in the air down the first base line into that parking lot we were talking about
That was
earlier.
way too close to my car. Bounced right in the gap in between my car and the car beside it. Whew.
The count even at 1-1. And Torr a 1.42 ERA and a .79 whip this year. 1-1 bounced on the ground to second. That'll be taken care of for the first out of the inning.
Edgewood is now 2 outs away from securing this ball game in what has been a dominant back-and-forth ball game from both teams. Started off heavy in that 5th inning, 6 runs for each team.
Yeah. Alex Gill has 3 hits just like he did in Game 1. Here in Game 2, he climbs in. A big at-bat here. Tore an 0-1 record. He's recorded 4 saves, 19 innings pitched entering today. Opponents hitting just 156 against him as the first pitch misses the zone for ball 1. He's from Homer Glen, went to Lockport Township. Junior last worked 2 innings yesterday against those Falcons of Concordia, Wisconsin. Allowed a hit, no runs, a walk and 4 strikeouts as the count evens up here on Alex Gill at 1-1. You've talked about how crazy this has been, Parker. We'll read you the box score for those just tuning in back at home. 15 runs on 17 hits and an error for Edgewood. 14 runs on 16 hits and 4 errors for your Thunder. So the 1-1 misses outside to Gill for ball 2. It was really the 5th and 6th innings.
Oh, yeah. those ones kind of dragged on just a little bit.
Yeah, 6 runs for each side in the 5th. Edgewood plated 4 in the top of the 6th, and Wheaton responded with a 7 spot. The last 5 runs of the game have all been scored by the visitors. Gill, well hit in the air to left. But over to his left is Harris to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down for Tor in the 9th.
So that leaves one more out left on board for the Thunder to try to even it up or win it. Braden Eagle comes up to the plate for the Thunder.
3-hitter in the order. Angle has scored twice today. Been aboard twice on a couple of hits. Base hit in the 1st and in that lengthy 6th inning. Tor set. His first offering, line to second, backing up to plate on a bounce is Bentavenega, and that's how this ball game ends. A marathon of Game 2 in this doubleheader goes to Edgewood. 15-14, the final score. 15 runs, 17 hits, and an error for the Eagles. 14 runs, 16 hits, 4 errors for the Thunder. Parker, all we can say is, wow, what a game here in Game 2.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal game. We've had so much back and forth. We have had a ton of lead changes. We've had hot bats. We've had hot pitchers. This is all that you could ask for in a nice ball game, the second ball game of the doubleheader today. Nice 1-1 for each team today.
In the battle of the NAC and the CCIW, the Thunder take Game 1 11-6, and the Eagles take Game 2 15-14. Whether you tuned in for both games or just here in Game 2, we thank you so much for tuning into these presentations of Wheaton College Athletics and Thunder Baseball. Alongside my partner, Parker Rogers, Andy Ockham, signing off for now from Lee Pfund Stadium, wishing you a fantastic rest of your Saturday evening.